Well, I was walking down the street, feeling kind of neat, when the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. Oh, it was a sight to see, my hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise. I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands, 'cause the wind came out your butt and now it's somewhere in the land. Oh, wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. Baby, you drive like shit. Did you see that car that you almost hit? I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through, always stop. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. No, heard you think you're tough. Gotta let you know, I will fuck you up. I whoop that ass, talking all that shit, spank that ass till you tap like a bitch. No, I ain't playing, I'm here to kick ass. Whoop that ass, it's time to punch face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a punch like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man, a radioactive tip in his hand. His hand grew 10 times its normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if the bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpowers to make a bitch listen, then get her naked with sex-ray vision. Sweep a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, his pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, his pimp named Superhand. That motherfucker was super bad. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my pimp hand to correct. It's called a bitch slap, slap. Come get your face clapped.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.
Man, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Let's Talk with JVJ Network, man. I am your host, Let's Talk with JVJ, man. Hope everybody's doing all right, man. On y'all way in, as always, you know I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep grinding because we're trying to get 20K before the end of the year. So that means we got to get a whole K before the end of the year. I think we can do it, y'all. I think we can do it. But, man, y'all hit that like for your boy. Y'all hit that subscribe for your boy. Y'all turn them notices on, man. Make sure y'all turn them notices on because YouTube like to turn them off. And make sure you click all. And also, the best way to bring new people in, share the videos. If y'all vibing what I'm vibing with, y'all jigging what I'm jigging with. If y'all diddling, no, I ain't gonna do that. That is too soon. Too soon. He ain't went to jail yet. But man, fuck with your boy. That's all I can tell you. Fuck with your boy. Man, look, man, it's gonna be an instant one tonight because I actually have been pushing off this video for a while. And it's been irritating me because y'all know I like to cover these cop videos. And I want more and more of my fellow Americans to understand your rights and what this country was supposedly built off of, the Constitution, and understand that you have a ground to stand on. And when you see your fellow Americans going through things, you will hope that if they're in the wrong, they're held accountable. And if the cops are in the wrong, they're held to the Constitution. So we're doing a cop video, y'all. We're doing a cop video. So we're gonna see how it plays out. I hope everybody's doing good. And see, we got my boy Hurricane up in the building. Salute. Man, look, Hurricane, look, I want to talk to you. Man, we need to do a show over on your shit where it's just straight anime, one anime show. I'll be over there. Like, people don't know that. I be geeking out, y'all. I'll be geeking out. I be on my shit. And then got my boy out from the Norm 18 said, I'm sorry, change it up. Big Op 2024 said I can sample this. All right, now. All right, we gonna jump into it. Look, we just had an election, and we had one candidate, the one that won, that said he wants to give cops less restraints in doing their job because they have such a hard job. So in a situation like what I'm about to show you, do you think cops need less restraint? Remember, this is the question ahead of time. Do you think they need less restraint or less guidelines, less rules placed upon them? Or do you think they need more? That's the question ahead of time. I'm not going to, y'all don't know what I'm going to show you, but I'm going to show it to you. So I just want y'all to remember, do they need more restrictions on them or less restrictions on them when it pertains to doing their job? And Hurricane said, cool, I'm going to set it up, bro. Look, just let me know something. I'm down with it, man, because it's a lot of animes and shit that I be on, man. Y'all don't know I be geeking out over here. But without further ado, shout out. Look, I got to say this. Shout out to Lackluster. Because we need more Americans out here putting out content. And this man is one of the best on YouTube, best on the internet. We're putting out content and sourcing this stuff to help people understand what's actually going on with their fellow Americans. And we need to get out of the mindset where it's not happening to me, so I don't care when it happens in America. I understand if it's another country. I got you on that. But if it's happening in America to your own fellow citizens, you need to care. Because if you don't help them when they doing it to them, they gonna do it to you. I can guarantee that. But either way, though, let me stop talking. Let me stop preaching. Let's go to the video. If y'all ready, I'm ready. Let's get it, y'all.
Are you able to define passive resistance?
Driver, stop! Stop right now!
Arrested him for resisting arrest.
Driver! Come get me, bro!
Tell me about the driving incidents that you have in your file.
I hit a mailbox, missed a stop sign, which popped a tire.
Probably gonna try to pay them.
And recently I hit a cement box and backed into another patrol vehicle.
Oh my God!
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. In
Let's
October
talk
of
with JVJ.
2020, Martinez Bowman was a short distance from home when he passed Deputy David Harvey and Deputy Jamie Godey of the Columbia County Sheriff's Office.
I'm gonna stop this real quick, and just so y'all know, yes, this does happen down in Florida. Florida got some funny cops, but they not the only ones.
The deputies noticed that Mr. Bowman's taillights were off, though his headlights and brake lights appeared to be in working order. After following Mr. Bowman for about 20 seconds, he signaled a left-hand turn, and the deputies finally activated their emergency lights.
Get that tag number.
Hotel Zulu, Bravo, Victor 5. Bravo.
Mr. Bowman slowed his speed to a crawl and used his turn signal once more to demonstrate that he was pulling into his driveway. Once parked, he sat in his driver's seat to wait for the deputies with his window down.
He wanted to get home where there was light instead of pulling over on a 2-lane road. And the officer mistook that as this felony evading and escalated from moment one.
Deputies shall greet violators with appropriate title in a courteous manner.
Why is that important?
Because when you make contact with a violator on a normal traffic stop, you want to be courteous to not, have a bad demeanor towards the person, or the person take that bad demeanor and send it back to you.
Driver, stop! Stop right now! Shoot me! Stop! Put your hands out the window!
Family members exit the home to record the incident, while Mr. Bowman remained in his vehicle with his hands and head out the driver's side window.
Put your hands out the window! Do not move! Do you understand me?
Tell me to get a 35, dude.
Are you gonna shoot me?
1257, Columbia, send us to 35.
Are you gonna shoot me? Keep your hands where I can see them! See my hands?
Deputy Harvey ordered Mr. Bowman to exit his vehicle, to which Bowman requested that the deputy escort him out so he could keep his hands up and visible to both deputies.
Driver! What's up? Step out the vehicle slowly! Step out the vehicle slowly! Shoot me, bro! Step out of the vehicle slowly! Listen to me, bro. Come here. Come get me, bro. Come get me, bro. You're not gonna Driver! Come get me, bro. I will release my dog if you do not step out of the vehicle.
Keep hands on, I'm about to pull my dog.
Deputy Harvey retrieves his canine and yells a series of conflicting commands before releasing the dog.
Last warning! Step out! Sheriff's K9! You want me to get out? Sheriff's K9! You better stop! Stand there! Turn around! Face away from me now! I will release the dog if you do not! Release the dog, bro! Put your hands up! Turn around and face the other way! Now! Slowly! I said slowly! Back towards me! Do not face me! You don't face the other way! Last warning! You better listen! Can I? No! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Somebody let the dog go!
Dog has been released. Dog is released.
Help me! Help me, bro! Get your dog, man! Get your dog, man, bro!
For several minutes, Canine Drago tore into Mr. Bowman's leg.
The police dog tore chunks of Bowman's legs out so bad that we had to blur pictures of the injuries because the dog bites go all the way down to the bone. Since that night, Bowman has undergone multiple surgeries with more surgeries still needed.
Please, bro, my leg! My leg! Help me! Help! Help!
Deputy Jamie Godey was just a trainee at this time, and Deputy Harvey had failed her.
Who was with you at the time?
The time of what?
The time of this incident.
I'm stopping right there, y'all. I'm stopping right there. All right. Let's do a quick little breakdown real fast just to understand where we are, because I know some people might get caught up in what's going on. Pretty much, you had a training officer, this guy right here that I'll show you on screen. This guy, he's a training officer, and he has a female officer that he's training on how to do traffic stops, how to do it the right way, whatever. Training officer, right? So the guy that they're pulling over, his brake lights weren't showing, like the tail lights, not the brake lights, but the tail lights weren't showing. But every time he braked, they did show. And they got behind him. As soon as he decided to turn down the street that he lived off on, they decided to hit the lights on him. So, most people, and they teach us this nowadays. It's in a lot of police, if you go to your local police department, they'll have procedures that they want the citizens to follow to make it easier for the cops if they have to make a traffic stop or whatever in their own police booklet for the public. Just drive slow if you need to get to a certain place, lighted area where you feel safe or whatever. Drive slow and just pull in. As soon as they got behind this guy and he started driving slow and pulled into his driveway, they already came out with hostility. And that's why Lackluster wanted to point that out. you're supposed to greet the public in a calm demeanor and things of that sort, so things don't get escalated. Well, they got out the car with their guns out. Well, at least we can see the female cop got out with her gun out. And if she's a training officer, what do you think she's the trainee, what do you think the training officer was doing? Because she's probably just mirroring what he's doing. So he probably got out with his gun out, and then you're yelling at the guy. And you can hear that the guy that's in the car is not being hostile or nothing like that. He just pretty much saying, look, what? Y'all want me to get out the car? Look, y'all got y'all guns on me. Y'all got guns pointed at me. And just so y'all know, this is a black guy that they're pulling over. We know as black people, we're not gonna, for y'all that are black, we're not finna make any type of movement with the cops. Because for some reason, they get triggered so fast to think that something's happening. Clearly, this cop was already triggered because the guy didn't stop immediately when they hit the lights, that he thought it was a felony eluding case. And y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, fuck it. Ain't no point in me talking about this shit. Ain't no point in me talking. I'm gonna let you see the cop. This is the training officer that was on duty that day. This is a cop that's training other cops to be cops. So when people say, oh, it's just a bad few, are those bad few training the newbies? No, it's all of them. It's majority. How about that? It's majority. Not 100%, maybe 95, maybe 99. But it's majority of them. We ain't playing that game.
Was there anybody?
Matter of fact, let me read this comment before I move on. See, Hurricane said, facts. You right about that.
Car.
What we're here for?
Yes.
Yes, Deputy Godey.
Okay. What was your role at that point or up to that point in her training?
It was her first day there, and it was traffic stops.
Okay. Did you know her before that day?
No.
This was her first traffic stop?
Right.
Okay. Had you had a traffic stop that evening?
I don't remember. I don't think with her. And I know for a fact with her, no, because that was the first one that was going to be conducted, and I was going to show her how to conduct a traffic stop, and that's how I wanted her to conduct it. And she would have took over then my driving seat and done her own traffic stops
after she saw you.
Conduct the first traffic stop.
Okay.
Not once did they identify themselves as officers, nor did they announce why they were pulling Mr. Bowman over or attempt to de-escalate. Bowman was charged with felony fleeing and eluding, likely to back up the use of K-9 Draco, as the Columbia County Sheriff's Office policy on K-9 teams is that they are only to be used for searching, tracking, crowd control, and apprehending fleeing or resisting subjects. In order to use the K-9, Mr. Bowman must still be either posing a threat of violence, actively resisting or attempting to evade at the time, or actively eluding capture.
Was Bowman attempting to flee that night?
No.
Was he pushing or pulling or trying to physically prevent control from Officer Harvey?
No.
Officer Harvey never came in contact with him until he effectuated the arrest, correct?
Until the K-9 was released.
Okay.
But Mr. Bowman had requested several times for the deputies to come and get him, to be removed from the vehicle safely.
Listen, man, bro, come here, come get me, bro. Come get me, bro. You're not driver. Come get me, bro.
I will release my dog if you do not step out of the vehicle.
At his trial, a jury declared Mr. Bowman was not guilty after deliberating for only 23 minutes.
A city man who says he was viciously mauled by a K-9 with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office was found not guilty of fleeing and eluding law enforcement Tuesday.
Are you aware that that was reviewed by a Columbia County jury? The fleeing? Are you aware?
Reviewed?
Yes, that there was a jury trial on whether this was a fleeing.
Okay.
Do you know what that jury determined?
Huh.
They determined that this was not a fleeing, that he was not guilty.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you can commit a crime and the jury finds you not guilty on it. The crime still could be committed. Look at Casey Anthony. Look at O.J. Simpson. A jury can find you not guilty on a crime, and you still committed the crime.
Okay.
That's your right to have a trial by jury.
So you do not defer to a jury as an officer of the law? Do you not defer
to
the law? A jury's verdict as an officer of the law?
Object to that one. I don't. They're not sworn officers.
No. Not that. You, as a former officer of the law, I'm referring to you, not them. If somebody's adjudicated not guilty in a court of law, does that matter to you?
Object to the form. It's not that it don't matter. It's what the jury ruled on. If they ruled him not guilty, then they ruled him not guilty.
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't. I don't know what. I don't know what my. What do you, that it doesn't matter to me.
Do you ever get
if I got in trouble, I'd want, and I wasn't guilty of it, I'd want a jury of my peers, which is my right.
Of course. But it seems to me that you're not going to defer to the jury that this wasn't fleeing under the law. Am I correct?
Object to it. I had to have probable cause to make the arrest.
Okay.
And probable cause was there, so the arrest was made. Then it was up to a jury to decide. I wasn't even there. So at the trial, so I don't. What the jury decides is what the jury decides. That has nothing to do with me.
Were you supposed to testify at his criminal trial?
I guess not. I wasn't there. Okay. They didn't subpoena me.
Okay.
Did you have any communication?
Stop right there and let's understand something. When and this is going to be something that a lot of people, it's really hard for people to wrap their mind around it. But when you have a government position, your personal beliefs don't matter anymore. They don't. When it comes to the military, when it comes to government as a whole, they want you to follow the mission statement to the T. Do not deviate from this because you feel a certain type of way about something. You have your own moral compass. No, this is what we're doing as this organization, just like anybody working in any business. Like, hey, we work at McDonald's. The fries are only in there for 5 minutes. Don't leave it in there for 6 minutes because you think they taste better at 6 minutes. Take them out at 4 minutes because you think they taste better at 4 minutes. 5 minutes. This guy's a police officer, and he came out the mouth and said right from the get-go that they ruled him innocent, but that don't mean that he was innocent. Well, in the court of law, that's how you're supposed to operate, and you are an agent of the government. So you're supposed to accept the government's ruling. His peers came together and got on it. Look, we spent tax dollars, had to pay for this judge, had to pay for the stenographer. We had to pay for all these jury people to be here. We had to pay for this building, the lights, water, gas, all this shit. Had to pay for it. And they all came in this one room. We heard everything that y'all brought, that y'all said he did. And when they heard all that, they said, nah, bro, he ain't do nothing. You're not going to accept that. And then you bring up OJ and some other people? Look. It's amazing that OJ was one of the first ones he brought up, right? Anybody catch on to that? It's amazing that the OJ case was one that he brought up. Dude, you were wrong. And they ruled that you were wrong. Regardless of the fact, I understand where he's coming from on a personal belief that the courts can get it wrong because the courts get it wrong a lot. It all depends on what the status in society is at that moment and how people are feeling about different situations. But we watched the video on this one, and I'm pretty sure they watched the video. Before, it just used to be the cop's word, and that was it. And that's why a lot of innocent people ended up in prison. We went from slavery to an industrial prison complex. Like, we all know it. If anybody don't know it, go look into it and think I'm lying to you. Please think I'm lying to you. And if you think I'm lying, when you find out if I'm not, cash at me $5. Support the channel. Because, look, the United States figured it out. They can't keep people in chains, so now all we got to do is criminalize everything. And if we can convince the public opinion that all these people or certain people are wrong, they'll automatically lock them up. In this case, in spite of all of that, they found this man not guilty of eluding the police. You sicked the dog on him. You got out the car with guns drawn on him. Over what? Hold on, real quick. Over what? His light was out? And because he didn't immediately stop you, you consider that a felony stop now. Now he's eluding you, even though he went at slow speeds? It seems like somebody had a little bit of bias already inside of their head And guess what he was trying to do? Pass it on to this little lady right here. So now she's going to go into the police force thinking that this is the right way to do it. This is how shit is done. And I'm going to continue that process even if she didn't or did have her own biases inside her head. That's why when people sit around here and talk about, oh, implicit bias training, why should I don't need that. No, motherfucker, you've been raised about people that told you that other people are a certain type of way when they can be the same way that you are. It don't matter what your race is. It really matters where you come from. That's what makes certain people do certain type of things. But even if you come from a certain type of place, you can be an anomaly to that situation. But automatically assuming that people are a certain type of way because they look a certain type of way or they live in a certain type of area, that's already putting you in a situation where you're being biased towards those people. And that's some bullshit. And see, Hurricane said she looked like Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Damn. And see, y'all said you want to see who a bigot? Just bring up OJ. That's an interesting one. And then Hurricane said she looked like Drew Carey. Damn. Well, guess what? We about to hear her talk about this exact fucking up the words, exact situation that we just saw. Let's check it out.
Communications with the state attorney's office pertaining to this incident.
For the criminal trial, yes.
Okay. Do you believe that there are alternative ways that this traffic stop could have been handled by Officer Harvey?
Back to the form.
No.
Mr. Bowman would then file a lawsuit against both deputies in 2022, alleging excessive force, unlawful detention, malicious prosecution, and battery, as well as claims of deliberate indifference, gross negligence, and failure to train against Sheriff Hunter. At around the same time the lawsuit was filed, K9 Draco died an early death after a heat-related injury sustained during training. In March of 2024, nearly 4 years after the incident, the district court found that a, quote, reasonable officer in Deputy Harvey's position could have believed the force he used in deploying Draco was reasonable. And even if the force used was excessive, Bowman has failed to show that the unreasonableness of such a use of force had been clearly established, and thus Deputy Harvey was granted qualified immunity, and Deputy Godey was, quote, entitled to qualified immunity because she did not have a duty to prevent Deputy Harvey's arguably lawful use of Draco.
Think about that dumb shit right there that they just said. They granted the officer, and remember now, we just had an election, and we did have the person that won say that he wants cops to have less restrictions on them, which means a higher standard for their qualified immunity to be taken away. The jury found that this cop operated in a sense of violating this man's rights, in a way of violating this man's civil rights. There was no reason for him to do what he did in that situation, that given situation, this one singular situation. Now he got found innocent in court. Now with the lawsuit, it goes to another court, civil. We're doing the civil side now. And that judge rules that, it seems pretty reasonable. The guy didn't demonstrate, him being in this car and getting a dog sicked on him for tail lights is not being reasonable, So we're gonna grant these officers qualified immunity, him, because he's a training officer, but her, she ain't know no better, so she just there. So we're gonna give him qualified immunity. Amazing, ain't it? Shout out to Smooth, man. I ain't seen Smooth in forever. Shout out to Smooth. But we're going to keep going. This is amazing. Because when people say that the justice system is so corrupt, it is. But mainly for certain people. Just going to throw that at you. I really don't like hearing white people talk about, I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit. Majority of the time, it's your own folks judging you. When we go up in there, it's y'all judging us. And we already know the bias when it comes to shit. Let's be real.
However, in October of 2024, Bowman filed an appeal with the 11th Circuit, which means it could be a few more years before anything further occurs in this case. Bowman's attorney, John Phillips, recently spoke about it.
He was found not guilty, and jurors came up to us afterwards and said, "What was that all about?" And I said, "You tell me. You're in Columbia County. I'm not. You tell me what that's about." And I thought, okay, now we've won the criminal case. We'll file the civil rights suit and we'll move forward. And maybe this was an isolated incident. And then I saw this video.
The video he's referring to involves a 61-year-old man who was walking home after jury duty when Deputy Godey pulled over and approached him.
Hi there.
Are we stopping right here, y'all? Because this is where things compound. Because a lot of people don't understand. Matter of fact, I'm coming full screen. A lot of people don't understand when people are traumatized with things or they experience certain things. It actually plays a big part in how they move and navigate from that point. Everything that happens to us in our lives shapes and dictates how we will move further. And I know some people are like, what do you mean? If you saw somebody get murdered right in front of you, you're going to be a different person because of that. And you're going to move differently because of that situation. Well, remember, the female officer was there, her first day training. She saw this. She might have came in with all the best mindset. I want to help the public. I want to be a servant. I want to be nurturing and all. Watch what happened after she spent a little time on the force. I want y'all to see this.
What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational aid. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless.
Yes, sir. I was investigating.
You have reasonable.
Do you want me to put you in handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looked like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly. You don't have
you
to...
ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir. I'm doing my job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
All right.
You know.
For what you stopped for? For a walking stick.
So,
and it could look like a weapon. She asked you to really present it, okay? Now she's asking me for ID. Okay? I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion. And I have committed a crime and committing a crime or about to do a crime. Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID. Well, now she has verified that I am not armed, okay? So there is no problem. You have your ID or not? I do have my ID, but you don't need it. Okay.
After dispelling Deputy Godey's suspicions that James had a weapon, and having no other reason to even breathe towards him, Sergeant Randall Harrison and Deputy Godey unlawfully detained James for not handing over his papers to the state agents.
I remember that, y'all. Just so y'all know, as of right now, technically, in the way they like to word it, he's not under arrest, but they're putting him in handcuffs. She thought he had a firearm on him. He didn't. Dispelled that belief. Once again, y'all, dispelled that belief. You thought it was a firearm. He showed you it's just a walking stick. He should just let him go on by their business. Nope, I need your name. I made contact with you, and this is what a lot of police officers are on. This is what their policy is in their office. If you make contact with the public, get their name. Because we want to ruin everybody. We got an FBI database that we're trying to build up so we have track of every human being that's of adult age or child age in America. They want to find you and they want to be able to track you. He didn't have to do that. So he's being detained. He's being detained. I want y'all to see how funny this gets when you piss a cop off. Because a lot of people don't know this. Number one rule when it comes to getting fucked up by the police is don't hurt their feelings or make them feel like they're disrespected or any type of way, because they'll violate your rights. They're already violating this man right now because he dared to question them. How dare you not give me your papers on spot? And for all the people that think they just do it to black folks, because I know there's a lot of white folks out here, I got to keep saying it because look, it's Trump's America now, boy. It's Trump's America now, boy. For all y'all white folks that think that they won't do this to you, bitch, please. There's more of y'all that do it too than it is us. And if they get bored with us, who you think they coming for next? I ain't talking about the Indians and Hispanics and none of that shit, the Asians. Nah, fuck that. They coming for you, bitch. Because they going to see you more than anybody else. And see, my boy Op said, The problem with a jury of peers, these people may feel they would never break these laws, and that's why the police use force to protect the public. But if they are cowards, they will believe anything. Yeah, we got a lot of cowards out here. And then he also said that shit looked like a flute, not a blicky, not a blicky. Smooth said he might have a vision problem, a visual issue, possibly a disability with that type of walking stick. Yeah, it's usually the ones they use for the blind people. And Hurricane said facts. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about that. I want people to understand. Like, look, a lot of folks that sit around and advocate for the police nonstop in anything and everything they do, this is carte blanche across the board. I support these motherfuckers. They need to be the first ones to get fucked up. And most of the time they're not, but the police do not care. Like, yeah, they definitely gonna go after the first black person they see. Like, they're gonna do that. I don't care what nobody say. They can sit around and be like, that's not true. You're stupid and you haven't lived enough. You haven't lived enough and seen enough to understand that, yes, the first people they want to target is people that are black and then people of color. Because black people and people of color are two different fucking things. People of color just include anybody else that ain't black, that ain't white. Stop combining the two. Black people staying by themselves, and everybody else needs to stop trying to be grouped in with our group. Nah, bitch, we got our own suffering. You can aim, you can argue and aim for your own. Don't be coming over here trying to get some of this shit. And that's the problem with the Democratic Party. They always want people of color. Bitch, you ain't talking about me. That's how I hear it. Every time I hear them say that shit, you ain't talking about me. You ain't talking about my folks. Because we got our own shit. We've been here from the get-go. From the get-go. Now, you want to bring the Native Americans over here with us? I ain't going to hold you on that, but look, y'all just tried to genocide them. Us, y'all kept us around. Y'all kept us around. Y'all thought we was good old slave labor. But either way, though, besides the point, they'll do it to y'all white folks, just so y'all know. While y'all sitting around rooting for them, rooting and hollering, yeah, get that nigga. They going to do it to y'all, too. But watch how funny it is. They just detaining him right now, y'all. They're just detaining him, supposedly. Watch how this shit plays out. Because they want to know his name. They want to know his name. So they're going to put him in handcuffs to get his name. Watch this. And it's the same female officer that watched that first cop violate that black dude on her first day on the job. Remember how all of it entwines with each other. How it all comes together. So I don't want to hear nobody talking about, oh, no, it's just a few bad apples. No, the fuck it ain't.
Oh, there's wallet this. Where's your wallet at, sir? I don't have my wallet on me.
Okay, where's your ID?
Where's your ID in the pocket? Which pocket? You are not allowed to search me.
And he is 100% correct. Just because you detain him, if you say you detained him, all you're allowed to do is do a pat down. You are not allowed to search that man's pockets. Every American, I'm going to say it till the cows come home, learn your fucking rights. They're like muscles. If you don't use them, you're going to lose them. And if something like this happens to you, you'll think that it's just status quo, how it's supposed to go, and you'll go about your business. Nah, hold on. Hell no. Take your ass to a lawyer's office and then come back and take that shit to the city hall and take your fellow taxpayer dollars that will sit around and allow these motherfuckers to do it to you. I'm all for it. Because we got so many Americans that want to sit around here and okay these motherfuckers out here just being a revenue service. We're gonna take money that was supposed to be for your roads. We're gonna take money that was supposed to be for your schools. We're gonna take money that was supposed to be for whatever the fuck. We coming to get it. Because you want to sit around and allow this shit to keep happening in your city. And once we do it enough, maybe you'll open your motherfucking mouth and actually advocate for your fellow citizens and not for this institution that's out here just to make money. Let's keep going.
What's in this pocket?
Hey,
Thank you.
I want your names and badge numbers.
1257 on Nick, 65, Florida 27.
Yeah, 4427. Preferably
Hotel 322-457-61-2540.
Yeah, 22, 23, just one. Sir, you legally blind? Yes, I am. I had to walk up here in the dark for jury duty, which was canceled. Why don't you use your stick? You don't have to use your stick all the time? Or not all the time?
After Deputy Godey and Sergeant Harrison unlawfully seizes James and searches through his property, Godey patronizes the man.
All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
His response enrages both officers and leads to his unlawful arrest.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. I'm not putting yourself for resisting.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Have a seat.
You wanna pick my property up, please?
I sure will, after you have a seat.
You wanna pull this out of my back pocket?
Sure. Here, I'll grab your jacket for you, too.
At the time, the footage of this event went viral, and concerned citizens expressed their anger with the Columbia County Sheriffs.
Rightfully so. Now, y'all, let's recant this because we're gonna go through the whole process of what actually transpired from this. This guy's walking down the street. There was a female officer, the one that was trained in the first video that we saw where they pulled a black dude and sicked the dog on him, right? All right. Remember that, right? Same female officer. She thought that this white gentleman had a firearm in his back pocket. After approaching this guy, think about this, y'all. She approached this man that she thought had a firearm face to face. But the black guy that had a light not working on his vehicle, they get out guns drawn. Do anybody see the difference? I want people to pay attention. The guy who had a light out got guns drawn on him. But the person that you think has a firearm, you just walk up and talk to him. But then even after the fact of finding out that this man did not have a gun, you want to run his name. And because he didn't want to give you his name, which legally he's not obligated to do, you put him in handcuffs. So after you run his name, after going in his pockets, searching him illegally, and getting his name, running it, nothing comes back, no warrants, no nothing. He tells you that matter of fact, let's say it the way it happened. Was that hard for you? That's what the female officer said to him. He said, it's gonna be for y'all. I'm gonna need your badge numbers. Oh, take his ass to jail. So your feelings got hurt. Remember, he wasn't even talking to the male officer. But the male officer hearing that shit, take his ass to jail. This man's going to jail because your feelings got hurt? Do we truly as Americans want people in power to have that authority to take you to jail and have you go through a long legal process, and hopefully they hoping that you ain't got no money, but if you got money, to have to spend your money to fight this shit all because somebody was in their fucking feelings? And then after the fact, let's say you beat it. Then we got to fight another battle because the state that you live in, the government wants to defend them? Is that the country we want to live in? Well, it seems like the country that a lot of people want to live in because they're fucking stupid. And I'm going to say it. A lot of Americans are fucking stupid and they're okay with this happening to their fellow American. This outrages me. But guess what? We're not done. Let's keep going.
A public statement from Sheriff Mark Hunter.
On October 31st, shortly after 8 a.m., two of our deputies encountered Mr. James Hodges walking near the intersection of Marion Avenue and East Duval Street. The interaction resulted in the arrest of Mr. Hodges. Body cam footage that was provided to Mr. Hodges of this incident has recently been circulated across many outlets and has resulted in our office receiving a number of calls from concerned citizens. On November the 3rd, Mr. Hodges requested body cam footage of the incident. During the review process, prior to it being released, a likely policy violation was discovered. The administrative investigation concluded the afternoon of 11/7, and allegations of policy violations against these two deputies were sustained.
And for once, an agency investigated themselves, finding that both officers were not only wrong, but that they had broken several laws, including assault, battery, and kidnapping, a first-degree felony in Florida, punishable by up to life imprisonment. Just kidding, but they did demote Sergeant Harrison and suspended both deputies.
As a result of these findings, Sergeant Harrison will be demoted immediately, suspended without pay for 7 days, and will not be eligible for any favorable action for 2 years.
Are you currently employed with Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
No.
Okay, where are you currently employed?
Myself.
Are you retired?
Yes.
When did you retire?
March the 24th of this year.
Was there any training that you had to undergo when you got promoted from a deputy to a sergeant?
No.
Okay.
Deputy Godey will be suspended.
I'm stopping right there. Think about this, y'all. What were the charges? What were the charges that somebody like me and you would have been charged with? Hold up.
That was provided to Mr. Hodges of this incident has recently been circulated across many outlets and has resulted in our office receiving a number of calls from concerned citizens. On November the 3rd, Mr. Hodges requested body cam footage of the incident. During the review process, prior to it being released, a likely policy violation was discovered. The administrative investigation concluded the afternoon of 11/7, and allegations of policy violations against these two deputies were sustained.
And for once, an agency investigated themselves, finding that both officers were not only wrong, but that they had broken several laws, including assault, battery, and kidnapping.
All right, let's break that down right there. Amazing. White on white violence, yo. We had a cop that would have been charged, because I want y'all to get into the mindset of if a citizen, like average everyday me and you, did this shit, assault, battery, culpable negligence. All right. Next one, assault, battery, culpable negligence, battery, felony battery. The offense of battery occurs when a person actually and intentionally touches or strikes another person against their will or all that other shit. Kidnapping, y'all. I'm sorry, kidnapping. You already know what kidnapping is. Because custody offenses, human trafficking, and and related offenses. If a citizen, me or you, did that, what do you think our punishment would be? We wouldn't get out of jail. We wouldn't get a bail. And we're probably going to be found guilty. But once again, I'm going to play it one more time. What did they get? What did the officers, agents of the government, what did they get for committing these offenses? Kidnapping, felony battery, and assault battery. What did they get?
A first-degree felony in Florida, punishable by up to life imprisonment. Just kidding, but they did demote Sergeant Harrison and suspended both deputies.
As a result,
a demotion and a suspension. A demotion, y'all. Demoted one from sergeant to something else. And a suspension for both of them. Guess how many days he said they suspended him for?
Result of these findings, Sergeant Harrison will be demoted immediately, suspended without pay for 7 days, and
see how they laughing and playing in y'all face, man. For all the Americans that want to sit around and support this bullshit. This is somebody that we would have did it, we would have been facing 20 plus years in prison. Oh, they do it? I mean, look, man, we gonna demote the motherfucker from a sergeant to a deputy again, and we ain't gonna pay him for a week. We gonna tell him, look, you ain't getting paid for a week. You suspended for a week. Take a week vacation. Who's cool with that? Hey, y'all, I'm being there saying, hold on. Y'all need to see my face. Who cool with that? Who's cool with that? Something that'll get you 20 to life. They get a 7-week suspension and a demotion. Y'all cool with that? Well, I just want y'all to understand, it's Trump's America now, boy. It's Trump's America now, boy. That man said he ain't finna hold him accountable for shit. We want to take these restraints off, and that's not restraint. In my honest opinion, that's not restraint at all. That's a slap on the motherfucking wrist. What you think it's gonna be if they actually get this ball rolling in a lot of these local municipalities? Ooh-wee. American citizens, y'all just don't know what y'all be doing. Hey, and this is not me saying I promote for Kamala. It was two bad candidates regardless. I'm just pointing out the flaws of Trump. But either way, though, let's keep going with this bullshit because this is hilarious.
And will not be eligible for any favorable action for 2 years.
Are you currently employed with Columbia County Sheriff's Office? No. Okay. Where are you currently employed?
Myself.
Are you retired?
Yes.
When did you retire?
March the 24th of this year.
Was there any training that you had to undergo when you got promoted from a deputy to a sergeant?
No.
Okay.
Deputy Godey will be suspended without pay for 2 days. Both deputies will be required to undergo remedial training pertaining to civil rights.
Have you ever been subject to any discipline?
Oh look, y'all, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people probably missed that. No training. Look, you go from being a beat cop to being a sergeant who's supposed to be over other people. Like in the Marine Corps, it's like you have sad part, I gotta do all this shit. You got private, you got lance corporal, you got corporal. Corporals are above the lance corporals and the privates. Oh, my bad, I forgot one. Private first class. So you got private first class, then lance corporal. Then you get corporal. That guy, the corporal, is above all the people, other ranks underneath. You're supposed to have authority. And usually when you get promoted to corporal, just throwing it out there because I know this process, you get training. You get books that you need to read and this test you need to pass on top of just being in for a certain period of time. What did this cop say when he went from deputy to a sergeant? Did he get any training?
Are you currently employed with Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
No.
Okay. Where are you currently employed?
Myself.
Are you retired?
Yes.
When did you retire?
March the 24th of this year.
Was there any training that you had to undergo when you got promoted from a deputy to a sergeant?
No.
Okay.
None. To get a promotion, he didn't have to get any training. He just had to go off of the training that he had before. And guess what? He probably got the same training that she got. You feel a certain type of way, man, this is how you got to do it. Like, for real, that's what's going on right now. The man got no training. A lot of people, I see so many citizens talking about, man, these guys have a hard job. Man, they just average day people like me and you out there doing a job. And a lot of people done told them doing certain things is okay. And when you do it, ain't nobody gonna fucking do nothing to you because everybody, the judges, the prosecutors, the DAs, all these motherfuckers are all in the same fucking pot because guess what? They are nothing but a revenue service. And I want people to really understand that your local police department, your local government is nothing but a revenue service to get money out of your bitch ass so they can fund whatever the fuck they trying to do. They are not out here to protect your life. The Supreme Court already ruled that police officers do not have a legal obligation to protect your life. And for people that keep thinking I'm lying, go look it up. Google that shit. Google it. These people, it's a joke. And people still sit around here and fucking fight for it. It's a joke. C. Smooth said, as much as I hate it, the system is working properly. Yeah, it is working properly. You Smooth, you are 100% right. It is working properly. This is how they designed it. Keep the small down. Keep the less empowered down. Protect the rich. Protect the powerful. These motherfuckers ain't out here for us. These motherfuckers out here to keep us away from them. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. See, I've said, we pay taxes and get fees on top of that for them to violate our rights. Yep, that's pretty much what we're doing right now. And a lot of people need to recognize it. But either way, though, let's keep going, man. Look, we ain't done. Because I told y'all, look, it gets worse. I've been sitting on this one. I've really been wanting to cover it. But it's a perfect time to cover it now that we're past the election. Let's keep going.
Deputy Godey will be suspended without pay for 2 days. Both deputies will be required to undergo remedial training pertaining to civil rights.
Have you ever been subject to any disciplinary action while employed with Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Okay, and tell me about that.
I'd ask that you refer to my file.
Okay. Can you tell me about the first instance that you were reprimanded or subject to discipline?
I'm going to check at this point. I think the discipline you may be referring to, the only discipline I'm aware of, is happened after this incident. So it's totally irrelevant to this case. So I'm going to object to that line of questions.
You can answer the question.
So I believe it would be November of 2022.
And what happened in November of 2022?
I had contact with Mr. Hodges and arrested him for resisting arrest, and the charges were dropped and I was disciplined for it.
Okay, and did you have a supervisor that assisted you on the scene?
Yes.
Who was that?
Sergeant Harrison.
And what was your reprimand or discipline as a result of that?
I received, are you asking what it was? I received 3 days unpaid leave.
Okay. Were you like demoted in any way or given a different shift?
No.
Okay.
I'm deeply saddened of the negative impact that this has on our agency and this situation has caused to us.
It's alleged that Deputy Harvey quit and is no longer a law enforcement officer. Mr. Harrison retired shortly after being demoted from sergeant, and it appears that Deputy Godey is still employed by the same agency. The following are highlights of the depositions of those 3 officers.
Deputies shall greet violators with appropriate title in a courteous manner.
Why is that important?
Because when you make contact with a violator on a normal traffic stop, you want to be courteous to not, have a bad demeanor towards the person, or the person take that bad demeanor and send it back to you.
Leading up to this incident, had you ever been arrested?
Yes.
For what?
DUI that was reduced to reckless driving.
Okay, so misdemeanor.
Mm-hmm. 7 days out of this patrol car for some mind recalibration got me motivated to do some hood rat things with my hood rat friends. Chris, let's get it, dude. Have you ever seen, maybe you haven't, there's a YouTube video with a kid who steals his grandma or mom's car, and it's a viral video, and the news media asked him why he does it, and he said, because I wanted to do some hood rat things with my hood rat friends. So I was quoting what that had said.
What did you mean that you were in this statement?
Let's go get with me and my friend, which is the deputy, let's go do some proactive police work.
Y'all want me to play that back again? I'm gonna play that one back again. I'm playing that one back because look, y'all, they're pulling their social media statements. A lot of these motherfuckers are so dumb. And honestly, I ain't even gonna say they're dumb because they're not gonna be held accountable for it. But they're on the internet, on social media, telling people how they truly feel. And then they get into court and be like, I didn't really mean that. Let's listen to his explanation of this shit right here. Because he's reading what he wrote. What he wrote. All right? Check it out.
Reckless driving.
Okay, so misdemeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
7 days out of this patrol car for some mind recalibration got me motivated to do some hood rat things with my hood rat friends. Chris, let's get it, dude. Have you ever seen, maybe you haven't, there's a YouTube video with a kid who steals his grandma or mom's car, and it's a viral video, and the news media asked him why he does it, and he said, because I wanted to do some hood rat things with my hood rat friends. So I was quoting what that had said.
What did you mean that you were in this statement?
Let's go get with me and my friend, which is the deputy, let's go do some proactive police work.
Let's go get in my car, and go do some hood rat things with my hood rat friends. What you mean by that? Let me go get with the other fellow deputy and let's go do some proactive police work. Bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that dumbass shit, Hey, bro, you think anybody believe? And the sad part is there will be people, because this is the deposition he's having right now. There will be people out here that will give him the benefit of the doubt and say that's what he meant. Yeah, I want to ride through the hood, shoot a couple niggas. What you meant by that, man? You know, I just want to go through impoverished community and hand out, fruits and vegetables and stuff. That ain't what you meant. Like, come on, man. And I swear look, I'm saying this and I ain't gonna feel no type of way about saying it because it need to be said. A lot of the people that keep this so-called terrible rap industry going are the people that look like him. There's so many white people that want to be hood on their off time, but corporate in their day job. Motherfuckers want to be hood in the motherfucker. Want to be black, they want to be the blackest motherfucker on the planet. But no, they can't be that. So in their free time, when ain't nobody looking, they do the shit they think black people do. But then they turn around and criminalize black people on their day job for the shit that they do. It's kind of like a manifested destiny type shit. But I'm be real. I see it all the time. Motherfuckers always want to say slang shit, hood this, all that woo shit. But then as soon as somebody come around them doing it, oh, you need to calm that down. It's only proper when I do it. When you do it, it's real niggerish. Like, man, y'all tripping, bro. Like, this is crazy, man. And he looked like the type. He looked like the type to get out there and try to nay-nay. He looked like the type to get out there and try to do that shit, man. Like, come on, man. It be the people that be criticizing folks of everything that's doing it. They be the ones doing it. And think about it. This dude got a badge. That's the biggest problem. And I don't care if I'm turning off some white folks when I say this shit. Y'all know how y'all get down. And if you won't get down that way, motherfuckers, they get down like that too. Just like when y'all be talking about black folks. Yeah. I know some folks that act like that. The only problem is it's not the vast majority. That's the difference. That's the big difference. Hurricane said you goddamn right. Matter of fact, Hurricane, I give it to you.
You're goddamn right.
Out here playing with me tonight. I ain't got time for it, man. It's Trump's America now, boy. I see I've said they buy the most rap albums, believe it or not. Yeah, they do. And I be trying to tell people that all the time. They like, hey, you don't think that rap music is the reason for the downfall of the black community? Y'all buy that shit more than we do. The problem in our community is that y'all make sure that we down. And you still be surprised because I tell people all the time, black people like roaches. They're like roaches. No matter how many of them you step on, you just can't kill them all. They just keep building. Black folks like roaches, man. And I say Mexicans like ants. And I know somebody gonna come over here and say, "Oh, man, that's racist." Fuck. No, it shows the ingenuity and it shows the will and fortitude that people have. Hispanics work together really, really good, even when they ain't getting enough. They not getting what they do. They work really, really hard. When it comes to black folks, we work. We individual workers. And people been trying to eradicate us since we've been in this country. And guess what? You can't stop this shit, bitch. You can't stop it. Let's be real. I'm gonna have some fucking red dots at me coming out after this show. Y'all gonna see. I'm gonna have some red dots coming at me, man. Y'all might not hear from me after a while. Cause I'm about to go in for the next 4 years. See, I've said, but when it's time to be a nigga, everybody don't want to be a nigga. Yeah. Shout out to Paul Mooney on that one. Everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga. Like real shit. Hurricane said, they about to buy the Trump Air Forces. Hey, look, they gonna be at it. Look, I ain't even gonna go down that road because we got a video to play. But I ain't gonna hold you. And I'm gonna drop the link for y'all in a second. Then you got Miss Jackson up in the building. She said, good evening. His kind chase black girls too. You know that's real. Oh, look, I can see him. I can see him at the strip club. And you can hear the way he talk too. Yeah, baby girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, baby, let's get your goofy ass up out of here. But either way, though, a lot of black girls get their dude play, too. That's fucked up shit. We got to talk about that, too. But either way, though, let's keep going.
What is proactive police work?
Meaning you're driving around in neighborhoods and proactive preventing crimes of occurring, doing traffic stops, middle of the night, just doing preventative activities, proactive.
So
being proactive.
Why would that be compared to hood rat things with your hood rat friends?
Subject to the form.
because that was it was a quote from somebody else that I thought was a funny quote.
Okay.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Kid in the video was in the process, or it was talking about committing crime, right?
His was talking about crime. Mine was talking about preventing crime.
Okay. What's the significance of the YouTube video that was attached?
That's I listen to rap music, and that's a song by Kevin Gates that I like.
What's it called?
Big Gangster.
Okay. Are you aware of training that states canine handlers should exhaust all reasonable means to effect an arrest without incurring a dog bite?
Is that in the policy, or is that a policy?
I'm just asking you if that's what you.
I'd have to read that. I haven't read that stuff in so long. I don't remember what all it says.
Do you know if it's the standard that you're supposed to use, that canine handlers should exhaust all reasonable means to effect an arrest without incurring a dog bite?
Jack to the farm. Sounds like common sense.
Okay. Were you reprimanded?
I want y'all to understand, y'all. This is the same guy that sicked that dog on the dude I showed y'all in the very first part of this video. He's the cop that sicked the dog on the dude, got out guns drawn, had the dude scared for his life because y'all got guns drawn on him, and then finally when he got out the car, he sicked the dog on him. This is that guy. This is that cop. Just so y'all know. I just want to make sure everybody know. Everybody know.
Demoted or terminated in any way related to this incident?
No.
While canine handler Harvey seems to have quit prior to the second incident, both Deputy Godey and Sergeant Harrison were involved in both incidents. Note that the questions and answers being given relate to the first incident involving Canine Drago.
Did you complete any training with Columbia County Sheriff's Office as it pertains to de-escalation techniques?
Okay, so we're skipping around. Are we still talking about canines?
Did you, as sergeant or watch commander, at your time with Columbia County Sheriff's Office, complete any training as it pertains to de-escalation techniques?
I don't understand what you're trying to ask me.
Did you undergo training, workshops, classes on de-escalation?
No, look, I'm gonna answer the question for him because I know how he's feeling right now. I know how this guy feeling. This is stuff that was regulated. Well, here you go. Pretty much put in the law from the federal government, from the top down to where he at. The way he looking at this shit is this the way he looking at it. This the way he's perceiving what she's saying to him.
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
He don't know what the fuck she talking about. De-escalation. Implicit bias training. Bitch, what you talking about? What you talking about? We fuck these people up when we see them. That's what she said. That's what we do, baby. That's what we do around here, baby. We training. What the fuck you talking about training, man? We just go out there and get that money for these folk, man. That's what we do. We the real gangsters of America. Let's keep it real, y'all. We the real gangsters of America. The only difference is we got the government behind us, bitch. Do something. Talk crazy. Matter of fact, we saw how they did the old white man earlier. All he said is, I want your badge number. Take his ass to jail. He was the guy that said, take his ass to jail. Take his ass to jail. Questioning me, motherfucker. What the fuck? We the real gangsters. Let's be real, man. I'm gonna let him keep going. You talking about training, bitch. Nobody training.
Are we talking about use of force? Or are we still talking about canines?
Any of it. Any training that you've undergone as far as de-escalation techniques as an officer with Columbia County Sheriff's Office.
trying to think how to respond to that because I don't know if you're talking about canine de-escalation or we're talking about use of force de-escalation.
Well, is use of a canine use of force?
No.
Okay. So I'm just asking generally, as sheriff or watch commander of Columbia County Sheriff's Office, did you undergo any training on de-escalation or de-escalation techniques?
If it was pertaining to the use of force, I would probably say yes.
Okay. And what kind of training did you undergo?
It's been a while since I've looked at use of force policies. I would have to refresh my memory on that with the use of force policy before I answered that.
So I don't want you to tell me the specifics of what you were trained or instructed on, but what I want to know is how often did you undergo that training? Or what specifically was it? Was it a class? Was it a workshop? Did you just get documents?
Sometimes it was.
Hold up. I'm going to object. You're asking compound questions. Now ask him one question and let him answer, please. What question do you want? Ask your question.
What type of training, not the specifics of what was included in the training or what was discussed, but what type of course or material was it that you were provided on de-escalation?
If you're referring to use of force, if that's what you're referring to, there was times that we had sit-in classes and there was times that we done workshop, if you call workshop by sitting in front of a computer and watching certain classes. We've done that as well.
Okay. As his supervisor and as a training officer, would you have? Do you feel that a pit maneuver was appropriate under these circumstances?
Object to the form.
You can answer.
First off, I don't train to do pit maneuvers.
Okay. Why?
Okay? Because I'm not an instructor to teach them.
Okay.
Okay, you have to be a certified instructor to teach pit maneuvers. Secondly, I don't tell officers when they should do a pit maneuver, okay, because I don't know when it's safe and not safe. Then I'm gonna give you an example of that. You're in that closet and you can't see outside that closet. You don't know what the dangers are out here, but there's possible a danger out here. Are you gonna come out of that closet? That's an example. So I don't instruct people when to do pit maneuvers because of that safety.
Could he have instructed Bowman to walk towards Godey instead of releasing the canine?
Object to the form.
He could have instructed several things, but from the video, he wasn't getting anything accomplished.
Could he have instructed Mr. Bowman to walk towards Officer Godey?
Object to the form.
He could have instructed anything.
Okay. In March of 2020, how many hours were logged?
0 hours.
So March of 2020, Harvey spent a total of 0 time training with Canine Drago based on this log.
That's what I'm reviewing.
Okay. In May of 2020, how many hours did Officer Harvey spend training with Drago?
I don't see anything listed for me.
What does actively resisting mean?
Actively resisting could be, do you have the use of force policy? Do you have the use of force policy?
I do, but you tell me based on your own words and recollection what actively resisting means.
Tell you from what the use of force policy says.
Can you tell me from your recollection and training and experience as we sit here today?
Without being able to look at the definition of it, I'd say actively resisting would be not following lawful commands.
Y'all see what's going on right now, right? The problem is a lot of Americans do not get the opportunity to see these depositions of these officers when they have to actually explain their actions. A lot of this stuff is closed and shut case behind look, it's redacted. You can't see this stuff because they don't want to show the failures on their side. This man has not been trained. This man don't give a fuck about being trained. He's coming off with the demeanor that he's offended that he's being asked these questions after a dog was let loose on a man, and this man had to go through multiple surgeries because that dog done chewed on this man's leg all the way down to his bone. It didn't turn around. We see you as the officer that got offended because a man asked for your badge number, that you locked him up. Told your female officer to lock him up. The audacity to sit here and feel like you are the one that is being offended when you are the number one offender. I'm gonna let it keep playing, man. But this is crazy, bro. A lot of Americans need to see this shit. So when they sit here and talk about officers got a hard job, nah, these officers do what the fuck they want to do. And all y'all dick sucker motherfuckers, because I'm gonna call it. I'm saying like Corey Hogan, sometimes a lot of y'all need to get y'all face put to the glass. Just so y'all know what the fuck it is. These people don't care about you, man. These are average day citizens trying to get it. And guess what? They got the authority to fuck you over to get what they trying to get. And that's what they doing. The biggest gang in America, baby.
So do you see where it says approved by me?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have to be done, but that's something I wanted to do on all of these things. I made them do, all of them do that. Okay. That's not required. Okay. So what was your question again?
Well, after it's filled out and completed and here approved by you, even though it's not required, what happens to it next?
It's forwarded by email to all the chain of commands.
And what's the purpose of completing these reports?
Honestly, bullshit, unnecessary paperwork.
Okay.
In my opinion.
And as we sit here today, are you able to define passive resistance?
No.
Okay. So what is active physical resistance?
My thought or my terminology would be not complying with lawful commands.
Active resistance, a subject's use of physically evasive movements directed towards the deputy, such as preparing to or attempting to flee, bracing, tensing, pushing, or pulling to prevent the deputy from establishing control over the subject.
Okay.
Okay, do you agree with that? Do you have any reason to dispute the definition as outlined by Columbia County Sheriff's Office?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That the K-9 teams operate under the supervision of the watch commander, who was you at the time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any reason to dispute that?
No.
Okay. As we sit here today, do you know the difference between verbal, passive, and active resistance?
Check to the form.
Verbal would be like, I guess, an argument, I guess. Using cuss words and stuff. What was the other one you asked me about?
Passive.
Passive would, that's the one I didn't know long ago. Just taking a guess at it is not following lawful commands.
And active resistance?
Active would be like resisting, I guess, pulling away. Pushing, pulling.
Did you take any steps to de-escalate the situation?
What we did was attempting to de-escalate the situation.
Okay. And what did you do specifically to attempt to de-escalate the situation?
So I remained with my firearm on the vehicle to maintain control. We had to gain control of the situation for it to de-escalate.
Okay. And so did you do anything to attempt to de-escalate the situation?
We were attempting to gain control of the situation so that it would be de-escalated.
Okay, so you just testified that you can't de-escalate the situation until you have control of the situation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so did you do anything specifically to attempt to de-escalate the situation?
Yes, I attempted to gain control of the situation to de-escalate it.
And what did you do to attempt to gain control of the situation?
I maintained my firearm pointed at the vehicle while Deputy Harvey gave loud verbal commands. I maintained my position in the felony traffic stop.
Okay, and so...
Now I'm stopping right here, y'all. Fuck that. Fuck that. Because I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit. This is very annoying. All right, here we go. We're going to see it. We're going to see it from the get-go again. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it and see how they maintain their shit, right? Because this is what they're testifying to in front of a court. And you know that the court has the video. All right, well, we're going to go to the video.
Stop! Demeanor towards the person, or the person take that bad demeanor and send it back to you.
Stop! Stop right now! Shoot me! Stop! Put your hands out the window!
Family members exit the home to record the incident, while Mr. Bowman remained in his vehicle with his hands and head out the driver's side window.
Put your hands out the window! Do not move! Do you understand me?
Come get a 35, dude.
Why are you gonna shoot me?
1257 Columbia, send us to 35.
Why are you gonna shoot me? Keep your hands where I can see them. See my hands?
Deputy Hart.
Does any of this sound like de-escalation? Does any of this sound like de-escalation? Because it sounds like you're trying to get some shit popped off. Y'all know as average day Americans, average day people, as a person picks a certain type of tone with you, you automatically know that like this went from friendly to okay, this might be adversarial. Like you want to do something? Like well, for me, I'll be thinking like that. You want to do something, or somebody might feel like they're scared. Like, oh, you want to harm me. But y'all de-escalated? You got guns drawn on. But let's continue to hear her recant what happened. Because we were just trying to get control and de-escalate. That's what we were trying to do.
The situation.
Yes, I attempted to gain control of the situation to de-escalate it.
And what did you do to attempt to gain control of the situation?
I maintained my firearm pointed at the vehicle while Deputy Harvey gave loud verbal commands. I maintained my position in the felony traffic stop.
Okay. And so is it your testimony that exiting your vehicle with your firearm drawn at a citizen is an attempt to de-escalate a situation?
It wasn't drawn at a citizen, it was pointed at the vehicle.
Okay. Pointing your weapon at a vehicle. Do you strike that? Is it your testimony that pointing your weapon at a vehicle is an attempt to de-escalate a situation?
I was attempting to gain control of the situation to de-escalate the situation.
What were you trained to do to de-escalate a situation?
I was trained to gain control of the situation so that we can move forward with de-escalating.
Okay, and so my question is not in relation to you gaining control of a situation. My question is, what specifically were you trained to do to attempt to de-escalate a situation?
I believe you want me to say to speak to them, but if they're not in compliance, I can't speak to anybody. I have to gain control of the situation. I have to meet someone.
How could they be in compliance if you don't speak to them to get compliance? You think just putting a gun in their face is gonna get compliance, right? Like Smooth, you called it out. You said pointed at a citizen's property. Let's be real. The way that the lawyer, the person that's actually cross-examining, asked the question was exactly what it was. You pointed it at a citizen. You could say, well, nah, y'all pointed at the vehicle. Who's in the vehicle? The citizen. I'm pretty sure you weren't pointed at the truck. I'm pretty sure you weren't pointed at the tires. I'm pretty sure you weren't pointed at the hood of the car. You were pointed at where that person was sitting in that driver's seat. You pointed that gun at the citizen. But you can't get compliance if they're not talking to you. But you just said you ain't talking to them. So how the fuck you don't get compliance? This girl goofy, man. You see how they trying to cover their own ass, and it don't even make no sense.
At their level of resistance to get them in compliance so that we can then de-escalate.
So I don't want you to testify as to what you think I want you to testify to. I want you to testify as to what you were trained to do to de-escalate a encounter with a citizen or a traffic stop to de-escalate the situation.
Okay, I meet them at their level of resistance. Once they're in compliance, I de-escalate. I not disengage, but I lessen my. Now you got my words twisted up. I meet them at their level of.
I bet you do, bitch, because you say you meet them at the level of their resistance. So you getting out with a gun would mean that he had a gun pointed at you. I met them where they are. Like here, y'all meet me. We gonna meet up at a spot, y'all. We gonna meet up at a spot. The venue was on the 3rd floor. You get there, you on the 1st floor, but I'm already up here on the 3rd floor. To meet me where I'm at, you got to come up to the 3rd floor, right? So we can meet each other where I'm at. We got to meet each other where I'm at. Did that man have a gun on him? Did he have a gun pointed at you? Fuck you talking about? Because remember, y'all, in case anybody got in here late, the case that they're talking about right now, this deposition for this case, it got thrown out. The jury said, nah, that dude didn't do nothing. That dude didn't do nothing. They had no gun on him. They had no drugs on him. They had no warrants. They had nothing. It got thrown out. This black man that y'all sick the dog on and bit the shit out of his fucking leg, ripped his leg up where he had multiple surgeries, didn't have nothing illegal on him, didn't do anything illegal. But you had to meet him where he was at. So having your gun drawn out on a man pointed at a vehicle, not him, right? Remember, y'all? Not him. She had to meet him where he was. Did he have a gun pointed at you? No. And now she look looking goofy. This look, you got a lot of ugly bitches that be trying to join the police force. I'm just telling y'all right now. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. You got a lot of ugly bitches that be joining the police force. They couldn't get it no other way. They had to go where all the guys was. They had to try to get the pussy over there. They try to give it away to one of these motherfuckers. They know they making a little money. A lot of people don't understand that cops make money, man. They be making bank. People think police don't make no money. These motherfuckers be making money. That bitch decided she was gonna take that thing over there to these motherfuckers and give it to them. She gonna hang out with the boys and get ran through. I'm just be honest with you. Because police are some foul motherfuckers. I'm just be honest with you. I know what it is to be in the brotherhood. You got some people in that group that just do some stupid shit, dirty shit, and you don't just turn a blind eye. I know what it is. That's why I speak against it. Been that. Nah, I ain't been. Oh, I've been there, but I ain't done that. Some foul motherfuckers out here. Now, I'm gonna let her keep going. Let me read some of the comments. Let's see. Smooth said his face was aggressive. There you go. He said she saw what his black ass face looked like in the middle of the night. Police car wouldn't even point towards the vehicle. You see, they didn't get that dash cam off of that shit. See, Smooth also said, I call this type of thing trickle down violence. Yeah, starts from the top, rolls down. You get more violence that'll roll downhill than you will get economics rolling downhill. But they all want us to believe in trickle down economics. Either way, though, let's keep going. She ain't done.
Resistance.
What do you mean by that?
So, because we were conducting a felony traffic stop, it's training. I'm trained to pull my weapon and remain in that position until there is compliance. So when there is compliance, I can then holster my firearm. Once the person is detained or the situation, that is when I would consider the situation under control. So once the situation's under control, I can then go downward. I don't have to have a firearm pointed at someone or at a vehicle when someone is detained.
Okay, and so what specifically, you kept going after you indicated you would meet their level of resistance. What else did you do? What else are you trained to do to de-escalate after you meet their level of resistance?
I'm going to object at this point. I think she's answered your question. Maybe she's not giving you what you want to hear, but I think she's answered your question.
So your testimony was that you gained control of the situation, specifically as far as de-escalating a situation in order to, before we even get to that, in order to gain control, you talked about meeting their level of resistance.
Yes.
Okay. And so let's assume in a hypothetical scenario, you meet the individual's level of resistance. What do you do next? Or what are you trained to do next to attempt to de-escalate a situation?
Objection, ask and answer.
Again, I feel like you're leading me to an answer. So are you trying to ask what I do after? So I've met them at their level of resistance. What is my next step? Or
what are you trained to do as far as that training course or program as far as de-escalation techniques? Because when you first testified, you kept going as to more de-escalation techniques, and I said, I stopped you and interrupted you, and sorry, and said, what does that mean?
Okay.
So keep going after meeting their level of resistance. Was there more as far as de-escalation techniques that you're trained to do?
Same objection.
Once the situation's under control, there's no reason to go further. So again, your questions aren't making sense because I gave my answer. So I meet them at their level of resistance. If there's compliance, then the situation is de-escalated.
Okay, and so by compliance, you mean the individual is detained?
Object to the form.
It depends on the situation.
I'm not trying to ask you tricky questions or misleading questions. I'm just trying to understand. I'm not a police officer, so I'm trying to understand what you're trained to do and de-escalation techniques. And so there's nothing else, and you're going to object, aside from gaining control of the situation and meeting resistance that you're trained as far as de-escalation techniques in any encounter with a citizen.
Same objection.
I can't say. I can't say what you're looking for.
It's a yes or no. I'm not trying to force you to give me an answer. I'm just trying to make the record clear and understand, because I feel as though I cut you off after you said meeting their level of resistance. And so I'm trying to reword the question to make it easier for you to understand, to be able to answer. Is there anything else that you're trained to do to de-escalate a situation in a traffic stop, aside from gaining control of the situation and meeting their resistance?
Object to the form.
No.
Okay. Would you have been allowed?
Hey, did y'all get that right? We finally got a final answer. She's been trained 0%, no time at all, on de-escalating a situation. Her thought process on de-escalating is meeting with bigger force, greater force, come in more aggressive, then whatever you perceive you might be coming into, come in and with a greater force. But we saw when remember, this is the same female cop, y'all. The same female cop that said she thought she saw this white gentleman, older man, walking down the street, and she thought it was a gun in his back pocket. But she didn't come into that situation with her guns drawn. She walked up to him. Let him grab his back pocket. He grabbed that stick out real quick. Gun wasn't drawn. It's bullshit. It's pretty much how you feel about what situation you are in at that moment. And that's the beautiful thing that a lot of people do not understand. We have a very subjective view. When we do something wrong in society and we have to go to court for it, we have the subjective view put upon us. Police officers have the objective view. And if y'all don't understand the concept between the two, when it comes to us, it's what that person should have known, what they should have did. When it comes to the cops, it's like what they felt they should have did in the moment. They have a broader reach of what happens in a situation when they act a certain type of way. But when we act a certain type of way in a situation, it's about what we should have did. It's crazy, right? Y'all need to start reading some law books, man. Y'all might need to do it, man. Y'all might need to start understanding how they judge this shit. They have less restrictions on them than we do. They have more roadblocks to get them convicted than we do. And they're the ones who are supposed to be trained in enforcing the law. That's why I tell people, it's always been a joke. If the government does not train these people on the law before they put them on the streets, they don't give a fuck about us. They are an enforcement. They are muscle. Not her so much, but they still, women can join the police force. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe y'all. No, you can work in the office or some shit like that. But you don't need to be on the street. But here, I got Miss Jackson up in here. Man, Miss Jackson. Whoo! It's been a fun night so far. Go ahead and give me your thoughts so far, because we almost done, but I want to get you in. We got 4 more minutes.
Yeah, I just kind of caught the middle anyhow. Just jumped in the middle end. But so far, from what I see, you have to have as far as her speaking on de-escalating the situation, it wasn't like it was a hostile environment where, that excessive force was needed to de-escalate the issue. From what I'm seeing, the man was in his truck on his property at his house or whatnot. And, instead of them just walking up to him to talk to him about whatever was going on, whatever the situation is, and if it's a warrant on his arrest, to notify him of that there's a warrant on your arrest, for your arrest, and what the charge is.
Oh, hey, let me help you out. Real quick before you go down the long rabbit hole. He was driving on the street. You know how you got the tail lights that normally stay on when you're on the interstate? You can push them and then the brake light come on, but normally you have a red light that's already on all the time when you're driving. Well, they didn't see a red light on the shit. Now, he was braking. They saw the brake lights. When he put his turn signal on, they saw that too. As soon as he put his turn signal on, they hit the lights on like, we got to pull you over. So he was already on the street going to his house. So he slowed down to probably like 10 miles an hour, and he pulled into his spot. Well, the cop that was training her took that as if he was trying to run away from him, driving at like 10-15 miles an hour. So in his mind now, he can treat this as a felony stop where they come out guns drawn. And she was a part of that. And now she's testifying to what happened that night, and she's trying to justify what they did, but it's like the dude wasn't trying to elude you. In the court case, just so you know, the court case ahead of time has already been disputed. He was found innocent of everything, but he did get his leg chewed the fuck up by a dog. And this is the deposition for the civil lawsuit.
So basically it was a traffic stop.
Yeah. They escalated the traffic stop. That's the whole gist of it.
Okay.
That's why the lawyer keep asking her about de-escalation and escalation. They are the ones who escalated the traffic stop from the get-go, because it should have been what you said. Okay, we pulled them over, go up to the car, Hey, look, sir, you got a light out. Let me get your license, registration, all this. Nah, they hopped out of the car with the guns drawn. And then they sick the dogs on the motherfucker.
So exactly, that's what I was saying. Like I said, I jumped in the middle, but right. So there was no hostile environment for them to feel the need to take control of the situation. I mean, in other words, what are you de-escalating? What is there to de-escalate? You know, it was a traffic stop or whatnot. If you felt that he was eluding you, once you got him stopped and pulled over, it's just the same as if you on the highway or you know, rolling down the street. You proceed, approach that vehicle and that person, and you know, inform them of why you pulled them over. You know who you are, officer such and such, and your badge and code number, and ask for to identify themselves. And at the end of the day, if his tail light was out, he'll give him a ticket, a citation, whatever you choose to do. And that should have been the end of that.
Well, remember, when that male officer, the one we saw earlier, the pig-faced motherfucker, when he deemed it as a felony stop, that's when it got escalated. Because, if you get a felony stop, like let's say they get a call on me, you the officer. There's a call, the APB out that this guy in this white truck done kidnapped the kid. And this is a license plate number or whatever. You get behind me, boom. License plate number match up. I'm supposed to be the suspect this is supposed to be the truck that has the suspect in it that done kidnapped the kid. Well, if you stop me, that automatically is a felony stop. So when it becomes a felony stop, they can come out with more force than a regular, like, yeah, you ran that stop sign. Let me walk up to you. They have the ability they're trained to treat this stop as something might pop off. So with this guy going 15, this the problem. With the guy going slow down the street and not stopping immediately when they hit the lights on him, the dude automatically classified it as a felony, which let him elevate his approach on how he did it. Because it should have been what you said. Just go up to the car and knock on the door. But in his mind, and that's why I keep trying to tell people, there's a subjective view and there's an objective view. We get the subjective. Like if we saw it the way we're reading it, it should be exactly what the hell you just said. Because that's how we would be viewed. It's a regular traffic stop. Go up to the car, get his license, registration, and let him know if you got to write a ticket, you got to write a ticket. But the cops get the objective. And that's why he said when the guy didn't stop immediately and he kept going, he felt like in his mind, his objective view, that he was trying to flee him, even though he's trying to flee him at like 10, 15 miles an hour, which don't make no fucking sense. But
Okay,
they get that luxury.
Right. This is per her sergeant. So her sergeant deemed it as a felony stop. And the reason he deemed it as that stop is because the dude did not immediately stop. He pretty much kept on rolling. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Now she's trying to testify to justify, because pretty much, look, you ain't gonna snitch on your homeboy. It's her first day on the job, and this probably happened months after the situation. So the questioning that she's getting, she doesn't want to give the wrong fucking answer to incriminate somebody else. So now you see how this shit is working right now, because they still get the leeway. They get the objective view, not the subjective. They get the objective view on everything. So she's trying to word it. And a lot of cops, you haven't seen it. You watched all the other cops that came up on here. They playing like they dumb.
Right.
What's your use of force procedure say? Well, I would need to see the paperwork. Bitch, if you worked at McDonald's, I flip burgers all goddamn day. I flipped burgers for the last 20 years. And you ask me how long you supposed to have that burger on there before you flip it. I supposed to know. But a cop that's been on the job for so damn long don't know. I need to look back at procedure. I need to look at the paperwork.
So I peeped that, and that's why they was going back with the sergeant to training. What type of training did you have when you got promoted? You know what I'm saying? What matter of fact, what qualifications? The question should have been, what qualifications did you achieve to get promoted? You know, everybody's not even in a position to be promoted to sergeant captain, lieutenant, and so forth. So
Oh, just on the job long enough. That's all it is. On the job long enough.
yeah,
Just on the job. And to Smooth's comment, Smooth said it's not always safe to stop immediately. You goddamn right, because you might be in a low lit area, and in situations just like this right now, you got motherfuckers that will sit up on the stand and lie and try to act like you. The bitch said I was trying to meet the threat at where it was. He didn't have a gun. He didn't speed away from you. He wasn't yelling and cussing at y'all or nothing. He told y'all motherfuckers to come get him. So what threat were you meeting? No, you were escalating, not de-escalating. You were making the situation more than what it needed to be. And that's what this lawyer's trying to get at. You caused this entire situation yourself. And I'm just gonna say it. Like, bitch, I know you wasn't the motherfucker that pulled that motherfucker over, but guess what? By proxy, you were there. Just like, hey, if you ran Miss Jackson, you ran up in the store, we in the car riding together. You like, hey man, pull over here real quick. Like, let me go in the gas station. You go in that motherfucker and rob it. I don't know you robbed it and we drive off. Guess what? I'm going to jail too. I'm the cop.
Hey, I feel you. So evidently, the point is there was no probable cause for him to call for a felony stop. Like, there was no probable cause for that. You know, he didn't take y'all on no high speed chase or anything of that nature. You didn't run it. You didn't even run his tag. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, we see that there's a felony warrant out on this guy. So evidently, there was no probable cause or reason for him to deem it a felony stop.
Remember, they keep going with that objective, subjective. Remember, everybody, just so y'all know, citizens, we have a subjective view. I'm going to beat this down because I'm going to constantly keep covering these cop videos. There's a subjective view put on us. Very subjective. What would a normal human being do in this situation? Objective view is given to the cops. What would a cop do in the situation? Which means they could feel however they felt. Amber Geiger, the one that walked up in that guy's house and shot him, Bolton John, talking about she thought that was her shit. They gave her an objective view. That was her position when they argued for it. That's why that bitch wasn't sitting in jail forever, and that's why she out right now. Why people want to hug her and give her Bibles and shit, talk about we forgive you. Bitch, fuck you, ho. I hope maggots run over your body when you're dead. But either way, I ain't gonna try to be mean about that. But they give them a different fucking standard of when situations happen compared to what we get when we're in that exact same situation. But here, let's play the video a little bit more because we almost done with it. Yeah, we almost done with it. Yeah, and we coming up on fucking 2 hours. Yeah, let's move it around.
Allowed to interject and suggest to Harvey not to release K9 Drago?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. And so your testimony is you had no authority to de-escalate or stop the situation?
I had no authority when it comes to K9 Drago.
You're the supporting officer on the scene, correct?
I'm the backup, yes.
Okay, so you're the backup officer on the scene, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so your testimony is that you had no authority to de-escalate or stop the situation?
I'm trying to think of, it's kind of a 2-part question.
Okay. Did you have authority to de-escalate the situation?
At that time, no.
Did you have authority to stop the situation from occurring?
No.
Okay. Did you have authority to intervene in the situation?
No.
Okay. And so your testimony is that as the backup officer, you had no authority to intervene, de-escalate, or stop the situation?
As a trainee backup officer, no, I did not.
John Phillips, the attorney from earlier that represents Martinez Bowman, is also the attorney for James Hodges and Joe Exotic, aka the Tiger King. He recently spoke about the Hodges incident during a press conference concerning the lawsuits against Columbia County.
A few years ago, we got a call from Martinez Bowman about a police dog attack, and we investigated that. We filed suit on that case, and the officer that was chiefly involved is a now retired, I guess, officer, David Harvey. Well, David Harvey was the chief training officer for Jamie Goad. So on October 31st of this year, when Jim was coming from jury duty, he was harassed by Jimmy Goad, and it led to the video you've all seen. And we're going to be asking for the Department of Justice to come in and take a look at the wrongdoing and the lack of discipline at Columbia County Sheriff's Office. When they're poorly trained, when they abuse their power, it is the biggest breach of trust that our society has.
The only way to drive away darkness is to turn the lights on. This is not my first time running into the face of injustice, just trying to get along and do my thing. When social media started bringing this disease we have in our society to the public eye, I started getting exposed to it too. So I made up my mind to properly, legally, and as maturely as possible, given the circumstances, to fight back.
When you have someone saying, look at me, I'm causing problems with the community, and a sheriff says, what? Then, maybe it's the sheriff that has the actual vision impairment, not Mr. Hodges. We'll leave that for the DOJ to determine.
James has now also filed the lawsuit against Randall Harrison and Jamie Goad. At first, they tried to settle by offering him $7,500 to sweep it under the rug, but James denied the insulting gesture, and it's been several months since the case has moved in any direction. But when there are updates to either of the cases from today's video, I'll be sure to let you know. Until then, share this video with your pro-police friends and ask if they would defend these deputies, and let me know how you feel about these interactions in the comments down below.
And that's what we here for. That's what the fuck we here for. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit, and guess what? It's about to get worse, whether people know it. It's Trump's America now, boy. I'm gonna keep telling them, motherfucker, it's Trump's America now, boy. And it's about to get reckless. That's one thing that he was very adamant about, letting people know that he wanted to do away with qualified immunity, in the sense of not making police be held accountable for their actions, make it where citizens cannot even challenge these police actions. And with these things still constantly going on. They did it to a black guy. They hemmed up a white dude. They didn't beat him up and draw guns on him, but they kidnapped this dude. They put him in handcuffs, ran his pockets, and took his ass to jail. If anybody's cool with that, I'm like, look, what are you talking about? So we need to be a little bit more understanding. Like, I understand we got bad people in society, but guess what? They can also wear uniforms that's got a badge on it too. But Miss Jackson, you got the flow. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get in, man. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
Well, Trump put it out there, man, and the people got what they wanted. Hey, he gonna, like you said, to the point, ain't no police brutality. They do what they want to do and get away with it. You can't charge them. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't do anything to stand up for yourself, defend yourself, protect your rights, or none of that. They're just totally immune and exempt. So, but back to when they was questioning the woman, she, first of all, wanted to stunt like she didn't understand the questions, playing dumb and ignorant. Then second of all, she just told a straight lie. She lied on all of it. She didn't have, she wasn't in a position to de-escalate the situation. She couldn't intervene in the situation. She couldn't stop it. But just 10 seconds before that, you said you took control to de-escalate the problem. So you told on yourself. I mean, it's real evident that you're telling lies. And then back to the lawyer, he was correct, absolutely right when, he said you got these officers that are poorly trained or not trained at all, and they're using abuse of power. So yeah, it's a serious problem, because if you go through any kind of legit company, there's a chain of command you have to go through are procedures and policies to follow in order to move up into a certain position. You know, it ain't like, you know, that's just like if like you use Mickey D's, for example. You start at Mickey D's, you know what I'm saying, flipping burgers and cooking fries. You can't just up and turn into management within a week or two. You feel me? There's policies and procedures that you have to go through the chain of command to work your way up to GM or general manager. So what they saying ain't even making no sense. In other words, we just doing what the hell we want to do. And I feel like it's a form of, you know, you have to bring it as the issue of what it is. When it comes to a certain race, they stick together. And so in that is, you know, hey, you know, my daddy or my brother or my best friend or my wifey or my hubby. And so because they gonna put me on. You know, it's that type of shit. So, but yeah, man, it was ridiculous. I'm glad it was brought out and that the young man, and then they have the nerve to be sarcastic, offer him $7,500. Like this nigga's supposed to be, you know, the dude's supposed to be so uneducated that you done really did something. You know what I'm saying? Like you really done did something to compensate me that I almost lost my life when you had the damn dog attack me and could have gave me something I can't get rid of a rabies. And 7K supposed to chop that up, you know. So yeah, I'm just glad he got some form of justice and went about exercising his power and his civil rights, you know, the correct way.
All right, and I don't know if the 7,500 was offered to the black guy, because you know they get that same lawyer is representing both the black guy and the white guy. I don't know who they offered that to. I think they offered it to the white guy, but I'm not sure. I would have to go back and watch it again. But either way, though, it's a slap in the fucking face. But we got Beans World up in the building. My good old Trump supporting brother. But yeah, what's up, Bean?
Good afternoon, world.
Preach, preach, preach.
And I wouldn't say I'm a Trump supporting brother.
You a Trump supporter, stop lying. Trump's America now, boy.
Actually, the only thing I voted for was Amendment 2, Amendment 3, and Amendment 4. That was the only thing I voted for. I didn't vote for either party. I was disgusted. I told you I was disgusted with both sides, man. I didn't appreciate anything I was seeing from either one. Both sides made you feel like you were selling out, man. That's just being honest.
Well, I'm surprised. But what were your thoughts on? I know you probably called it late. Because you always come into the show late. Give me your thoughts on what you saw.
I didn't catch it. I'm just catching the tail end of.
See, look at this motherfucker.
I caught Miss Jackson in the 7,500, but yeah, man.
Why do you come up when you ain't watched the video, man? God damn.
I was just locking in, sir.
This is terrible.
I'm supporting.
I'm gonna let Miss Jackson get you. Miss Jackson, go and get his ass. Go and get him, man. He coming up here fucking up shit. God damn it.
She was ready to tear into me anyway. She thought I voted for Trump.
She ain't the only one. She ain't the only one.
I ain't getting nobody business. Who you vote for is personal. You know what I'm saying? I just encourage you to vote. That's the important thing, you know.
No, the only thing I cared about was the natural ability to be able to hunt and fish without a game warden telling me what to do. I wanted to vote about giving women their rights to do what they want with their body, and then the other thing I voted for was to legalize weed.
Man, fuck that second one.
No, that's right. That's right. Everybody wrong.
Hell no. Fuck that second one.
Yeah, that was all I cared about.
That's too broad. That's too fucking
And I would have
broad.
voted against our sheriff, but the dude that was running against him gave up. They ran his ass off.
Yeah.
Small town USA.
They probably put the police on him.
He was the police. He was the police.
Look, don't act like they won't put the police on the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the fuck, we done seen it. They will put the police on the police. Who got more power?
Well, you might have to go back and rewatch the. Hey, Beans, you might have to go back and rewatch the video, but you know, it was just the police brutalities, the violating the brother's civil rights, and basically how they arrested him, attacked him for nothing. Attacked him for absolutely nothing. So
I see that
it's
every
just
day,
one
my
of them
dear, where
things.
I'm from. That's just one of them things where I'm from. If you ever travel through, Alabama late night, up around
Nah, this
Coleman,
Florida,
Tuscaloosa.
This Florida. It happened in Florida.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying in general, like that was my first experience. I was just, saying that was where I first experienced something like that.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, we know.
You remember what I told you before? Because I get the concept. Like, look, yeah, like I can be like, yeah, I didn't deal with that. It is what it is, man. It's not. We got to get to the point of saying it's not what it is.
Oh no, I ain't never been one of them. I'm gonna sue you, your camera. I'm gonna get that FOIA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
For yeah.
Yeah.
And FOIA requests, all that shit. I need body cam. I need badge numbers. I need fucking time, date stamps, fucking police reports. I need all that. And the fucked up shit is, this is something that a lot of people need to start advocating for. You shouldn't have to pay for that. Because a lot of people don't know they charge you for that shit.
I mean, you get it back in court.
Nah, fuck that. I don't need to get back in court. I just need it.
It's part of the court. It's part of the court cost that they adjudicate. The loser gets the cost regardless. So
yeah, but I'm saying, think about it. What if you're just an auditor and you didn't get hemmed up? They didn't arrest you or nothing, but they harassed the fuck out of you, and you want that body cam for when they approach you. This shit not going to court. I need that body cam.
Well, that's just like that one.
Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. There was that one officer, the guy that killed that guy in what was it, 231 South? And the auditor, First Amendment auditor, he went to him and he said, "Oh, I know you. You're the guy that killed that guy. Well, what are you still doing on the force?" Because he was doing that 2A protest with he had his AR-15 in a downward position, but on a sling. And the officer approached him, basically, Amber, just ready to light him up. And he was like, "Oh, I know who you are. You're that cop that killed that guy last year."
But hey, I got a question. So I heard when on one part the sergeant got 7 days without pay, and the trainee got 3 days, and that was it. I mean, I know the boy got everything dropped or whatnot, but that was, I mean, how did they end up? What was the outcome of handling the officers?
Oh, that was the outcome. The sergeant got a 7-day suspension, like you said. The female officer, actually, in that situation, the female officer didn't get anything. She got a 3-day suspension for the other one, the one where they just stopped that guy because she thought he had a gun, and then they arrested him. That's where they got the 7-day and the The other one was the dude just got a suspension for 7 days, and he got demoted. He got demoted for from sergeant to regular old deputy,
and then retired out.
Yeah, after they demoted him, he was like, "Bro, I ain't got time for that." Because when you get demoted, anybody that knows about the ranks when it comes to the government and shit, your rank dictates your pay. So once he got demoted from where he was at, he was like, "Nah, fuck."
He wasn't making no money, exactly. But
he was making money. Like, when he complained like he wasn't making no money, he just wasn't making the money that he was making before.
Right.
And he was like, "Fuck that, I'm not dealing with that," even though he was dead ass wrong. That's the fucked up shit about it.
Well, on the flip side, he probably went on now too for his ass got sued and even charged. You know what I'm saying? Because by the young man getting a lawyer, and you know what I'm saying, and pressing forward with it.
Remember, they were going to charge him in the beginning, but the judge, remember, they appealed it. That's why Obody was like, "We're going to get back to y'all in a few years to let y'all know," because the appeal process takes a while. The district judge ruled that the male cop and the female cop, well, the male cop had qualified immunity, and because she was a training officer, she would get it by proxy. So that's why they're appealing it, because they were trying to throw it out with the civil lawsuit. They tried to throw it out. It was like, yeah, he qualified immunity. Any reasonable cop would have did that, and he didn't provide that. It was like it was excessive. I'm like, the dog chewed through this motherfucker leg. Like, I don't know what the fuck you mean by that. But we got a lot of judges out here And that's one thing that gets me. We got too many people, when we got to remember this in society. Regardless of whether you have a position in the government, you can have your own personal beliefs about shit. So there could be one person that was like, yeah, every time a black person come in there, they're automatically guilty. There could be a person that comes in there that has a vendetta against white people and be like, they're automatically guilty. There could be a person that has a vendetta against women. There could be a person that has a vendetta against LGBTQ. Woo. We have those people spread out all throughout parts of the government. And this was a situation where it was like the cop, like the judge was like, yeah, it's a nigga that bit the dog. Yeah, he probably had it coming. Probably had that shit coming. So, you know.
Well, in the fields, hey, now that they in the fields, man, that shit can take years. You know, so
you said 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we deal with in society. Like I'm for fighting the battle. I'm for fighting it, but when the grand scheme, like in the grand scheme of things, I want a lot of my fellow Americans to understand this. We can fight this shit in the court. Like if somebody got some money, like I'm that motherfucker that will go out and get a GoFundMe and start trying to promote shit. Like, no, we gonna do this. And I grind harder on my side if I got to, just to raise that money to pay for these lawyers, because these lawyers ain't finna do this shit for free. Unless they just know automatically they're gonna get a big payday. But we gotta fight it, because at the end of the day, we need this shit to be corrected. But also, for the people that sit around and defend these motherfuckers when they do shit, act like they're holier than thou, like they can do no wrong, like they just don't put on their pants, just like we all do. We all put our pants on the same damn way, but they act like they put them on a special type of way. Man, they might jump in the air, do a backflip, and twist in the air or some shit. I want them motherfuckers to be the reason that you don't have good roads in your community. I want them to be the reason that the police don't patrol your community as much as you want them to. I want them to be the reason that your goddamn schools suck. I want them to be the reason that your kids get fucked up because ain't nobody there to stop that shit from happening. That's what I want. That's my biggest issue. Like, I ain't got to the point now where my issue is not with politicians, police, and shit like that. My issue is with fellow Americans. Because we got too many Americans that have more energy for some shit that's going on overseas than they do for what's happening in their own goddamn country. You will sit here and co-sign people fucking up somebody next door to you. And that's where that old saying comes from. When they came for me, nobody was there. So when they come for you, don't expect nobody to be there. Please don't expect nobody to be there. And we got a lot of Americans that are like that. They just show their true colors with this election. And I ain't saying Kamala was a good candidate. I ain't saying that. But Donald Trump a piece of shit. He a piece of shit. And then on top of that,
interjection.
Well, she was the better candidate.
Go ahead.
Let's just say this. This is my opinion. The Democrats should have chose a better candidate. The booty shaking and the twerking and the Beyoncés and everybody on the P. Diddy list do not make the party look good. The other thing is like this, man. That lady only had 180 days.
That's right.
They put her up against a lot. And then the fact that there were plenty of opportunities for her to go on more modest shows to actually voice her opinion, but she didn't take those opportunities. Listen to me. There's a culmination of things. Listen, let me give you my opinion.
I'm letting you go, but you know
when
that
she didn't.
it ain't wise.
It's part of it. Listen, there are several votes or polls out right now asking, why do you think she lost? And there are people in the what's the generation after millennial? Gen X,
I don't know.
Gen X or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Gen X basically, their determining factor was she wasn't cool enough. She was not willing to go on the Joe Rogan show. She was not willing to go on several other different podcasts from the more modest right-wing side, I guess you could say. So that kind of damaged her. And then the other factor is like people were looking for her to answer certain specific things in a certain way, and the answer she gave wasn't good enough. And the fact that the policies that, even though she said she was running a different campaign and policies than Biden, people didn't fall for that. They knew that it was basically going to be the same thing another 4 years.
What was bad? What was bad? Like, see, that's the one thing that got me. What was bad about the 4 years of Biden?
Bidenomics.
I'm saying, what was the bad part about it?
Well, there were certain things in the beginning that were shut down that caused a lot of turmoil, a lot of people to lose their jobs.
It's coming out of
Now,
COVID.
listen, things pick back up right now. Like, prime example, they just dropped the, what is it? Excuse me, what the correct term? They just dropped the interest rate. The Fed just dropped the interest rate today again.
Yeah.
I think another 0.25% or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it dropped. I saw that.
but at the same time, you got to look at on the upside of what's going on in the world. Look at just what happened after they announced the election. Hamas it's called a peace treaty.
Hamas been trying to get a peace treaty for months.
Putin made an announcement today. I don't know what it was about. I forgot what it was about. But there's something going on with that and his announcement with Ukraine.
I hear about it in the morning. Yeah, I'm about to say I hear about it in the morning, but I ain't heard nothing. I didn't hear nothing this morning.
Within 72 hours, now this is the third big thing. I don't know if you're invested in cryptocurrency or in the stock market or looked at a 401k lately, but everything has tremendously spiked. Some things by 3%, some things by 17%, some things by 30%. It's just an average. There's different things that spike. This is just off of one movement. Now, here's the other thing. The people that are about to become in place, you got to look at it. Kennedy, I don't know how I feel about him. He's about to be over. He's about to be over the medical, medical.
He's a sellout. No. Trump said he gonna be over everything. Just leave that liquid gold to him. JFK can have everything. Just leave that liquid gold to him. Trump don't give a fuck.
JFK. Here his family is Democratic. Now he ran as an independent, but JFK is a Democrat.
Yeah, he's a Democrat, but he's a Democrat that sold his soul to get into political office.
No, people don't understand that this run right here, brother. This run right here was a pick from both sides. Trump has no alignment, and Trump has no alignment with left or right in this case. He has Democrats and Republicans working for him. Or I guess you could say Democrats that cross the picket line. I guess if that's
JFK is not a legit Democrat or Republican. JFK wanted power because he went to Kamala first and asked for a political position in her cabinet. And when she told him no, that motherfucker switched. He switched heels and went right to Trump. And Trump said yes. And that's when he endorsed Trump. That's the only reason he did it. And he even said that out loud. He said, I went to the Harris Walsh campaign and asked, could I be a cabinet member if I supported y'all campaign? She told him, we still weighing our options. That motherfucker ran straight to Trump. So that means he ain't got no fucking goddamn, he has no standards in what the fuck he's doing. He just wanted to get some power.
He was looking for an opportunity and he got it. He was
exactly. That means no more.
Are you not? Are you not?
What do you mean?
If somebody's willing to give you $170,000 to $180,000 a year for basically doing nothing, for real,
he was already making that. I mean, he was making more than that. His family got more than that. He wanted power. He wanted power, and he wanted to have influence. But that just lets me know, like, people shouldn't ever talk about like flip flopping, because that's a super flip flop. You wanted to be the nominee. You figured out that you weren't going to be the nominee. You weren't going to have a chance. So you was like, let me go to the side that I'm more aligned with. And when the side that you more aligned with said that we don't have a place for you, you ran to the opposition. Bro, you a sellout.
Exactly.
You making your daddy name look real bad right now.
And then he wants to represent, independent activists. But I'm gonna say this real quick before I jump off for the night. Now, when it comes to Kamala, that's another show for another story. Another topic, another night. But I'll say real quick, Bean is right. It's a combination of things, just to kind of wrap it up, that first of all, she didn't get the right and the same timeline to campaign like everybody else, like Obama, like Bush, like the rest of them. Biden should have allowed her to campaign. When he decided to go for the second term, he should have went ahead and allowed her to do so in his place, but so it was one of them spontaneous things at the moment. She wasn't expecting it. I've heard her do an interview and talk about it, that he was called to step down. So that plays a big. She had 107 days. It was 100. It was a combination. That was a part of it. Yes, it was.
I'll say it. No, I'll say what it fucking is. I'll say it, and I ain't got no point to sugarcoat it. America's sexist. They ain't finna have no woman run this country.
That part we know that. We know that too. We know that too. Okay, they jealous because she's a woman.
No,
okay, but then second of all, again, there was a combination of things like Bing said. And like I said, I can go on and on and on. It's a time for another show, for another night. But I'm just giving my view in a nutshell that there was a lot of deception going on with all these celebrity ass endorsements. They were paid to endorse her. And when the shit hit the fan, them motherfuckers voted for Trump. Let me tell you something. It's not even the fact that she lost, it's how she lost. It was a great defeat. Well, the whole goddamn nation basically went red. So that lets you know it's some shit in the game. For the Democrats. For the Democrats, and I'm gonna mention another thing, what they did kind of fail with the hurricane that just happened in Florida and parts of Georgia, South Georgia area. They didn't go touch ground and go out there and be more proactive as they should. But they did send out $750. But on the flip side, to her defense, the damage was not as bad as they tried to make it seem. Okay.
This shit was a big thing about messaging and how people portrayed it. And that's why I always give the right props. They get all the props in the world. They can message fear like a motherfucker. And Democrats do not know how to counter that shit with, that ain't really what the fuck it is. The right does a really good job with messaging, scaring the shit out of folks, and mainly white folks, because that's mainly who vote in that party.
Well, this is a white man. This is a white man's country, and that will never change. That's their whole point. They made a statement for the whole over 90% of the nation was red. They said it was a red wave.
It wasn't 90%, but this is Trump's America now, boy.
It was close to it, 80%. It was a red wave. Let me tell you something. Biden and Obama and the previous Democrats had already flipped some of the states over blue. And then, for example, Georgia got bomb threats. Okay, some parts of Alabama got bomb threats and all this and all that. But again, her policies, of course, some people didn't agree with. But it was a combination of things. And then, Trump didn't even have no fucking policies. And at the end of the day, nothing changes. It's white supremacists for the rich and the wealthy, and it's about power. Okay.
Black people voted for Trump, right?
Of course. That's what I said. It was a lot of deception going on where they even tricked this lady, because they were paid. I'm talking about celebrities at this point. All the black celebrities that endorsed her, they was paid, and a lot of them like Beyonce and Jay-Z and them that's finna have these Diddy indictments coming along. They getting in cahoots with her to try to cover their ass. But guess what?
They got Trump. Or why do you think they flipped and voted for Trump? So they can get pardons, because all them people on that Diddy list.
Exactly. And then Trump was on the freak off. He was on the videos too.
Yeah, look, we speculating right now. We speculating real hard. We don't
know. No. This is these are things that I've seen.
We don't know if any of these people changed their vote.
We don't know if this is true or not. This is all speculation.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, look, I'm being dead serious. I think the basis of why he won is because he played on the fear that a lot of Americans have. He played on messaging that the Republican Party did a really good job. Fox News did a really good job. All these different YouTube channels and all these things. No, they didn't. The Democrats suck it. Here you go. When it comes to
How many
comparison of,
text messages did you get?
no, I'm just saying, I
Every
didn't
day.
get any. To be honest with you, I got a number that they not gonna send nothing to me. Like I live in the 205 area and I got a 659 number. That I don't get that shit. When it comes to messaging, Republicans are still to this day better at messaging what they want to say, and they get it across to the masses. Fear is a greater reason, like it's a greater message, a greater tool of getting people to come to your side than are doing great and
I can't
everything.
say that. I can't agree with that because the
fear-
Democrats was the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, fear is you control people through two things: fear. Through fear, you can control.
Yeah. Real quick, Ms. Jackson, because I heard a comment and I do want to get Ms. Ghosty in here. You said the Democrats were the KKK. Who's the KKK now?
Couldn't tell you.
Can tell you. I can tell you. You want to know?
That's your opinion. That's how you feel.
It's not my opinion.
That's out
Who
of
the fuck
emotion.
is? Oh, here. It's not an opinion. Who waves Confederate flags and neo-Nazi signs at rallies? Democrats or Republicans?
Both.
Come on, man. Like we gotta stop the cap.
Republicans.
Like we gotta look. B, I understand it. It's fine. Look. I don't care. Like I want people to understand this. I don't give a fuck about either party, but I'm not here to lie about a party. I don't have no affiliation with either one of the motherfuckers. So I sit here and talk shit about both of them. But we're not gonna sit here and act like the Democrats are the KKK right now. No, the racists support the Republican Party.
Exactly. But see, just to go back to the. Go ahead, Ghosty.
Just real quick,
that's
not saying that Democrats aren't racist too.
Yeah, they got racist people all up in it. It's racist people in every
But
party.
when it comes to like KKK shit, like that's definitely.
Look at it. Oh, they on
we
the
talking
right.
about like all white country, like an all white Christian nation, like that's Republican shit.
Would not replace us. That's the right. Come on now.
That's not.
We know
That's
what
not
that is.
Republican or Democrat. That's called white nationalism.
And who do they vote for? Like it's like that. It's like that old stand-up comedian.
The rich and the wealthy, the supreme.
All right, I put it like this.
forget-
So what
I
if two
forget-
black people ran? What if there was a white Republican and a
Yeah,
black
there
Democrat?
can be a black. There can be a racist black person. It's called Jason Whitlock. But either way, though, like, look,
Who is that?
this is what what you call a comedian said. I think Dave Chappelle said it. It's like, look, I'm not calling you racist. I'm just letting you know that the racists support you. So that should tell you about yourself. And we need to be real about that. Like, we got to get out of. I don't know what it is about Americans that we didn't got to the point where we ignore shit. Think about this. This is how shitty this country is. And that's why it's on this downfall. This country elected a felon. But this country always talks about law and order. The candidate that is a felon that they elected talks about law and order. And if it's somebody that looked like me and Miss Jackson and Mr. Beanie, I know he ain't showing his face. The first thing that happens every time, let him kill a black dude. Well, you know his criminal record. Ain't that the first thing that come out?
Well, all I got to say is, don't ask me what applying for a job or anything of that nature. The checkbox of have you ever been convicted? Hey, that has to go. Don't ask me who would give a damn when the president of the United States is a convicted felon.
I'm pretty sure they're about to change that legislation. I'm pretty sure that's
Well, Sonny said it on The View, but I just want to say this real quick. So going back to, it's not speculation. I'm looking at the logic. When you have great, powerful, the elites like Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, and so forth, and the list kind of trickles on down. Even, what's her name? Glorilla, the new artist Glorilla, Meg Stallion, all these new artists as hell. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. My point is,
Moose Knuckles.
all these different Cardi B, you see what I'm saying? And all these different damn followers. I mean, hell, they got 3-4 million. Oprah would have got half the country by a goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? And so the point is, again, like I stated, it's not the fact that she lost, it's how she lost. It was a great defeat. You got over 75-80% of the country that was red. That's why I say it's some shit in the game that we don't know anything about. They basically took that woman goddamn money and flipped the script on her.
I'll tell you what's in the game. It's the simple fact that, like, I'm not saying you have the mindset, but there are a lot of Americans that are surprised with the results of what happened that would be like, man, Beyonce showed up at the concert, Glorilla showed up, Megan Thee Stallion showed up. Celebrities don't fucking dictate how anything works in this world.
They were paid to endorse her.
That's
and
fine.
to
Because they paid them because they thought that could garner voters for them. But they don't understand that motherfuckers are waking up to the mindset like, well, some people are waking up to it. They voted for Trump because he's the biggest celebrity in their mind. Fuck Megan Thee Stallion. Don't nobody go to her concerts. Fuck Glorilla. Don't nobody go to her concerts either.
But I guarantee. But listen,
anyway.
the influence they have on these young people. And all they have to do, hey, you vote for her. You know, if you want to change my life and change your life, this is the woman for it. You see what I'm saying? So they were paid to endorse her. That was supposed to be the deal, but they didn't follow through on their part.
No, they failed to look. They can't look.
These
I'm
are
not
just
gonna knock somebody.
politicians.
Like,
they're not God or Jesus. Or
just because you pay somebody, you think that they have the influence to do something doesn't mean that influence. Like, it's like sports. You pay an athlete because, like, a lot of people think that when like NFL, an NFL quarterback coming up on a new contract, he in his last year. He have a good year. They paying him. A lot of people think that they paid this quarterback for the last season that he had. No, the money that they giving to this motherfucker is because of what they think they can produce. But we know more times than not that the motherfuckers don't live up to the contract. Most people don't. So they could have paid these people to come in and bring in votes for them, hoping that they would bring in votes. But guess what? It didn't work this time.
Because they didn't try to. They didn't do their part. That's what my whole point is.
They tried. I don't give a fuck if they tried. Get your money.
That's what they took home. I'm telling you what happened. They took her money and flipped the script. They didn't do their part to, you know what I'm saying, to basically tell the motherfuckers to vote for her and get their followers to, come on in behind them. They didn't even do that. They just went and performed and showed their face at the campaign.
Yes, and I'm saying they don't have real followers. That's the thing. All the shit, all them artists. No, I mean that's serious. All the artists that they brought in there, Cardi B's, the Glorillaz, they have internet fans. They don't have real fans. You know, like a Lil Kim. Lil Kim coming to town. Motherfucker gonna come and watch Lil Kim. These new bitches. These motherfuckers that they have out here now, this is fake ass shit. That's manufactured fucking fame. Don't nobody fuck with them.
Okay, so let's look at Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce alone.
Nobody care about her. Nobody care about Oprah.
And them two and Kelly Rowland alone. Hell, they had over 3-4 million followers by themselves.
Well, the Beehive is something different.
They don't look. They only there when it comes to defending their people. When it comes to actually going out there in real life and doing real action, them motherfuckers ain't there. Nah, the Beehive will get on.
I know, right? But I'm saying you got people that you have young folks. You got weak-minded motherfuckers. They're a powerful influence. They have the ability to influence millions and millions of people, and that's how they even built their career. So yes, they do have followers, millions of them. And they didn't do anything on their side of the bargain.
Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not denying that they don't have followers. But it's one thing to have followers and it's one thing to have, like, hell, I got 19,000 subscribers on this channel. But if I launch a goddamn clothing line, merch for the channel, all 19,000 ain't finna buy this shit. It's probably gonna be in the 1 percentile of people that actually buy the shit that I would sell. That's the difference. There are a lot of people that will listen to your music and will possibly buy your album. But when you got an initiative that you're trying to get something done on, majority of people ain't fucking with that. You know why? Because the majority of people got their own lives. Majority of Americans didn't fucking vote. Like that's
and that 15 million. 15 million.
Different type of like caliber of celebrity or something, because we have seen this work. Like Trump made it work with like the Elon Musk and the Joe Rogan endorsements. Like
different type of celebrity though.
Yeah, so I don't know what kind of people on the left that would be like equivalent to that, because I bet like I wouldn't be
An
surprised if there
economic
were a couple
celebrity.
centrists that got convinced to vote for Trump because of Joe Rogan. Like, I would
Yeah,
not
look,
be surprised.
Look, get a motherfucker that actually done did something in this world that actually means something. Elon Musk, he got Tesla. I don't like the motherfucker. He a piece of shit, and I think he racist as fuck. But
Yeah.
Elon Musk done built Tesla, and he has SpaceX.
So people
That's
listen
something
to
you can
him.
get behind. He got something that you can actually be like, okay, look, he came up with an idea to a certain extent. He hired the people that would make this idea a thing, and now it's a thing. And we see how successful it is. Okay, maybe I'll put my money behind somebody that I've seen has a proven track record. Not a bitch that get on the internet and shake her ass in front of motherfuckers.
And Kamala didn't go on Joe Rogan and them interviews because she knew they was Trump. They were Trump supporters, and she, you know, at that point, she was just focused on endorsing her campaign. You know,
the bitch fucked up when she lied about being black. That's a problem. That's what turned a lot of black.
No,
dudes
she
off.
did. Watch Club Shay Shay. Watch the Shannon Sharp Club Shay Shay show and a couple of other interviews, and she talks about she identifies herself as an African American woman, and she's Indian. Well, I'm telling, just watch the interview. She never denied being black.
That's fine. But I'm just telling you, she's
Yeah, she's Jamaican and she's Indian. That is her race. That's her race, man. Just go read it. Go research it. But it was 15 million. It was 15 million Democrats that did not vote. So that's why Trump made it. 15 million Democrats who did not vote.
Well, and a lot of that, I personally think a lot of that had to do with this fucking Israel-Palestine shit. A lot of the like far left were withholding their vote because they're calling this whole thing a genocide, and they refused to vote for her. And I think that put a big dent in Kamala supporters.
It is a genocide going on, so I will agree with you on that one. And, hey, a real quick shout out to Marcus. He said, yeah, but Joe Rogan endorsed him last minute, like 2 days before the election or 24 hours before it was even confirmed. Look, that's cool too. Like I don't
Yeah,
have
but that's
a
because she didn't agree. She didn't come on. She said, if I'm not mistaken, she said, I'll come. You have to come to me, and you only have 1 hour or 2 hours or something like that.
Look, Joe Rogan was going to endorse whoever they wanted to endorse, regardless.
That was somebody else, I think.
Regardless of whether she went on.
That was Kamala who said that.
Look, regardless of whether she went on Joe Rogan's show or not, Joe Rogan, just so y'all know, has the largest platform, the largest podcast in the world. Regardless of whether she went on there or not, Joe has his own views regardless. Just if she would have came on there, that don't mean that Joe would have voted for her. Joe just wanted to get the goddamn conversation because it would have been good for his platform. Joe was always going to vote for goddamn Trump.
And she knew that.
Let's be real about that. It doesn't matter though. It's better for her to goddamn go out there and show. It's better for her to go out there and get her message out there. But look, she wasn't gonna win regardless. And that's one thing that I was trying my best to hold on to because I don't believe she did. I never thought she did. But I wanted to sit here and fucking argue on both sides of it because I don't like either one of them motherfuckers. And I tried to be fair as much as I possibly could. But America's not electing no fucking woman to be president. And I'm not trying to say that to be sexist or not. That's how majority of Americans view it. Even women. Majority of American women are not finna elect no woman. And she wasn't gonna get it. She the bitch over here flip-flopping.
And that's a goddamn shame because any woman who did not support, and any woman, and I want to say this to all the women, any woman who did not support their sister ought to be ashamed of themselves. Because if you hate her, that's how you feel about your goddamn self. But a lot of people did say, hold up, a lot of people did say that they would voted for Michelle Obama. They said
real quick, why should they be ashamed because they didn't vote for her? Because she a woman?
She never even identified herself as black.
Okay, I'm responding to what you said.
No, hold on. Everybody, hold up. Should they feel ashamed of themselves because there are women that didn't vote for a woman?
Because you just said she didn't make it because of her gender. So if Kamala was a man, she might have would have made it.
I'm saying it for the masses, period. I'm saying it for the masses, period.
I think what she's trying to say is if there's women who are saying, I'm not going to vote for a female president just because she's female because I don't think a female should run the presidency. Then
Jordan, Jay just said that. You just said that.
No,
you just said a lot of
voting.
She's trying to clarify to me what you were saying. She's trying to clarify what you were saying to me. But guess what? There's the same thing where somebody wouldn't vote for somebody because of their service. Somebody
If Michelle ran, she would have won. The Dems would have won if Michelle ran.
Okay, the statement was made that ain't no woman gonna be president of the country. She didn't make it because she's a woman. That's the statement that was just made.
She was a bad decision. She was a bad choice.
That's right. So I responded, and I said, every woman that did not support their sister to break barriers, to do this for your daughters, your sisters, or whatever, your aunties and yourself, ought to be ashamed of themselves because of the fact that she's a woman. That's what I said.
Downfall of America.
If Michelle ran,
I'm gonna be real. And we all gotta live in reality. It's gonna sound fucked up to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
America's not ready.
Should no woman be in no leadership
Yeah,
position?
because that was a downfall. That would be a downfall.
I'm be dead serious. Should no woman be in no leadership position over no goddamn country?
She's better qualified than the fucking lunatic that's in there now. That's gonna put all y'all motherfuckers' lives in jeopardy. What sense does that make?
He just
Jackson,
there are plenty of female leaders, successful female leaders.
You looked at your stock options lately?
She should be in the position.
You seen your stock options lately?
One mic real quick. Like, I just want to say this to y'all. Look, I'm not knocking it, but I'm speaking for America. America, the country that we live in. Ain't no woman gonna be no president in this country. Just gonna chalk it up. It ain't about you doing nothing for your daughters or your sisters or none of that other shit. Women are unstable in this country. And everybody fucking knows.
And Trump fucking is?
I'm trying to tell you something. They would rather deal with a felon. And that's why I say America told on itself when they elected him. But America's not dealing with no woman.
That's why I just make the statement to women. That's why I just said what I said.
It's fine. Just people need to understand it. Stop putting up a female candidate for president. It's not happening. This country ain't going for it. This country will burn in the ground before it put a woman in office.
Because they jealous. And you know what that shows? They're jealous. They're intimidated.
The ladies were lucky enough to have a vice president at all, even up there at all.
Look. It ain't about no jealousy. It ain't about jealousy. You need to stop saying that shit. It's not about jealousy. It's about competence. And we need to be real.
Competence, and you got a fucking lunatic in there now, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Even Kamala, but the fact that even Kamala switched, she code switched herself. Go ahead, Jay.
It's part of the deal. The reason I'm gonna show you is the way that you responded to when we're saying it. Like, you lashing out when we saying this shit. Like, it's the reality.
You're saying it's about competence, Jay, and we have a fucking lunatic in the office. So evidently, it's not about competence. I said what it's about.
It's about sexism. It's about sexism. The country automatically assumes that a woman is going to be less competent than Trump. And that's where our country is right now. And I don't personally agree with that, but I have been saying this. After this election, I have been saying, like, if the Democrats want to win, we probably need to put up a white man, or at least a man, to win. And it really fucking sucks. And I want to, like, change that. But if we want to win, I don't know.
Why do, I do have to ask this question for the ladies. Why do women feel like they need to have a female president?
No, I don't feel that way.
Because they want to brag and ego.
Let's look at it like this. I can say how I feel.
Hold up. It's just for the ladies. Jane, what did you say?
So I don't feel like we need one. If there's a good, I feel like there can be a good female president, though. I don't see why there wouldn't be able to be one. But I'm not going to vote for a woman just because she's a woman.
Michelle would be great.
Now I want to go to Miss Jackson.
Okay, now it's only common sense. You vote for a person based off their policies, their qualifications, and their character, not their gender, not their race. But unfortunately, that's not reality in the world that we live in. Okay, so people did not vote for her because of her gender, because she's a woman. I say this: Men has been running the country since the beginning of time, and it's fucked up. So let's do something different to get a different result. And women are intelligent, very smart, and she would make a great president if you get the right candidate. I'm not saying Kamala was exactly on point, but if you get the right candidate, she will be a great president.
All right, well, he gonna check this. With that point being said, yeah, the country has been ran by men, but it's been ran by a specific group of men. Like, let's not put that on all men, because Asian men ain't been running this country, Indian men, Native American men, and honestly, we got one black president.
Well, that Ramaswamy dude almost got it. Ramaswamy, the big head alien looking dude.
Yeah, he need to take his bitch ass back to goddamn India and go whatever the fuck over there. Like, he need to take his bitch ass over there. That's where he need to go. But this hasn't been ran by. It's been ran by a select group of men in this country. So we gotta make sure we're honest about that. But the biggest thing when it comes down to it is knowing human nature, and most people know it, regardless of how much in society we try to push back on the human nature that we know, instinctively we know, and that's going to be the biggest issue for women. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not voting for no female president. I'm not. I would say it's kind of fucked up that she lost. As a matter of fact, I ain't gonna say it's kind of fucked up. It is fucked up that she lost being qualified from all the jobs she's had, being a prosecutor, being a DA, being a senator, and all this shit. She lost to a fucking felon. But that lets you know America spoke. And motherfuckers on the Democrat side need to stop playing that game. Stop. So
it's the same scenario. Just like you have racism, just like they put you in the box in classes from the rich to the poor, and then you have, like Ghosty said, sexism. That's what I meant by jealousy and intimidation. That's what I meant. People want to state, like I said, this is a white man's country, and they want to reign supreme. You know what I'm saying? So they want to keep the suppressed stuck in that box.
But understand this: sexism and racism should not be in the same category. They shouldn't, because there are a lot of things. I'm gonna be dead serious with you, because open the door for your lady. That's sexist. Pay for the first date. That's sexist. Protect your woman. That's sexist.
That's not sexist. That's called chivalry.
No, it's sexist because chivalry only goes one way.
Well, everything is a learned behavior. It goes both ways.
I'm just being understanding. Racism is bad. Racism is straight up bad. There's no way to work around it. Sexism is, because guess what? When something like here, let's say we're all on the ship together. We're all on the ship. We're on the Titanic. That's what we on. Ship's going down. What do they normally say? Women and children first. That's sexism. But we don't argue against that. Sexism is not bad unless it doesn't benefit somebody.
That's a learned behavior. That's a learned behavior. What you just said. Doing this, we're taught.
That's called sexist. It's called sexist privilege.
I've argued against that since I was a kid.
That's sexism.
No, it's called a learned behavior. You're taught to open the doors for a woman. You're taught to. That's a learned,
biased towards one gender and acting
behavior. Just like on the female side, it's a learned behavior that ladies are supposed to sit with their legs crossed, and ladies are supposed to do this or do that.
Why are women trying to open doors for themselves now?
Because
women kill chivalry.
I was gonna say,
open the door. That's not discrimination, though. How's it?
We got a full panel up here. So I want to go around everybody one by one. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Bean's World first because I know he wanted to say something. Jackson, I gotta mute you because you got the echo. But I'm gonna go to Beans first, and then I'm gonna rotate around. I'm gonna hit Ghosty. I'm gonna hit Marcus, and I'm gonna hit Miss Lena, and I'm gonna come back to you, Miss Jackson. So Bean first, give me your. Go ahead and spat out. Go ahead.
Well, I'll put it like this. I mean, it just what are we hitting on first? I mean, there are
whatever you want to hit on, because we talked about a lot of things. So you can hit whatever point you want to hit.
Well, as far as like the chivalry goes, man, that goes beyond back before. That's like from like the knights and stuff like that, man. That's like Knights Templar, like that's way back, man. That's like being courteous. I can't say that's sexist because that's a new world term, but those are things that we were as men taught to do: protect, lead, be the providers, the foragers, the hunters. You know what I'm saying? The women were always supposed to be the ones that were the gatherers, the nurturers, the ones who tended to the flock. You know, and even in, I guess you could
do
say,
understand
animal.
the definition of sexism, right?
Break it down. What's your definition?
Sexism means that one group, one sex of people does one thing, and one sex of group does another.
I mean,
you just broke down pretty much what you just said was sexist.
Yeah,
That's not sexism. That's not what that
it
means.
is. No, that's what.
I think it is. Yeah. No, I
That's
agree.
literally
It's a
what
literal
sexism
double
is.
standard.
So
Women
me
do
getting the
this,
door for my
men do
woman,
this. That's sexism.
or me opening the
I
door for
agree.
my wife, me opening car doors for my wife, me. That's
It's a
sex.
certain double standard. That's it. I don't know why people think it's complaining.
Well, I
But it's
wouldn't
only
let my
sexist
wife
when
pump my
women
gas
decide it
unless I
doesn't
had a
benefit
broken
them.
leg or something.
It's only sexist when women decide it doesn't benefit them. Men
That's
are not
not
the ones out here claiming.
That's a fact.
I'm
Like
telling
that-
you, I fucking agree as a woman right now.
Yeah, like look,
Jesus.
that's on. Like, and I keep hearing you, Jane. I'm glad
We're not
you
even
keep coming
pressuring you either, Ghost.
Look,
It's
real
alert
shit.
behavior.
Sexism is only sexism when women disagree with it, when it doesn't benefit them. Sexism
No.
That ain't true. It's alert
sexism-
behavior, though.
Sexism is like superiority based upon gender. The same as racism is superiority based upon race. That's what sexism is, and that's what I just looked up, and that's what the sexism means.
I got you.
I just found a definition.
Hey, Lena, I got you. So is it sexist to say that women are better nurturers than men? Got your ass. Shut that dumb shit up.
Exactly. Like exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, it
why,
is.
why,
I
why do
don't think
people gotta
so.
like front or be politically correct or just go like this full like bullshit fucking narrative? Like, it's okay to fucking
Sexism
admit
is
it.
Kamala Harris didn't make it because she's a woman. That's sexism.
No, to say.
Well, no,
women-
Kamala Harris didn't freaking do it because she couldn't handle being an actual politician and being in the hot seat like that.
Well, what
That
if
is
it was
a form
2024
there.
and what if she identified as a man?
Look, there are more.
If she was a man, she probably would have
It would
made
be like trans, the Transformers community.
Real quick. There are multiple forms of what sexism can be. That word is so broad. It has a big ass bubble inside of it. A lot of things can be sexist, whether they're good or whether they're bad. But sexism has a broad standard. To say that women are better nurturers of kids, that's sexist. To say that men automatically should be the providers all the time is sexist. We deal with that shit. The only time that we have
I
an
don't think
issue,
saying that men should be providers, technically the way you're saying it, is sexist. Sexism means superior. If you say something is better, like better nurturing, technically that is sexism because
Lena,
you're
that
saying
is
something is superior versus something. That's the
Lena.
actual definition of sexism.
Lena,
It
that is the
means
new
superiority, that you have a belief in superiority based upon sex.
Lena,
That's the exact definition when I looked it up.
Lena, that is the new definition that they just put into the Webster Dictionary. They've been changing a lot of definitions, and you know that.
So I understand where Lena is coming from, but the way, like, so where I'm coming from, what I look at sexism is treating someone or having certain expectations on someone a specific way because of their gender. So if a man's willing to open a door for a female but not a male, technically that's like sexism in a way. And if you really want to break it down, if you want me to go like ultra radical feminist, to be like, oh well, why are men doing that? Because women are weaker, so like men are supposed to open doors, and women are like meeker, so they shouldn't pump the gas, you know. So I could break this down into a negative way too. I'm not saying that's like how I see it, but it is sexism because you're treating women a certain way based on their sex, or you're treating men a certain way based on their sex.
Okay, then we might as well be like ageism is bad. Like, okay, don't open doors for the elderly or anything like that. We do that because we know either the door is too heavy or they're in a wheelchair. You should be like, oh, you could open the door. The age doesn't prevent you from opening the door because you're in a wheelchair or disabled. All of that. You can assume how's it harmful? If you're making a big deal out of opening a door and it's based upon sexism, something is really wrong.
We never said it was harmful, Lena.
I personally was referring to
Jackson, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna come to you right next. I want to explain this. We're not making a big deal about sexism. Men are not the ones who make a big deal about sexism because we understand that the world is sexist. Women give women in certain situations better understanding or more leeway or more grace than they would a guy in that exact same situation. Vice versa, when guys are in a situation, guys will give guys more grace in that situation. I'm saying out loud, the world is fucking sexist. The people inside of it are all sexist. But to use that term as a negative term when everybody participates in sexism on a day-to-day basis is bullshit. It's
I would say
bullshit.
not all sexism is bad.
Facts.
I don't think all sexism
There's
is
good
totally bad.
sexism. There's good sexism. When somebody break into that motherfucking house, I believe every man should go downstairs and defend that shit and protect his wife and kids. That's sexism. But I believe
Okay,
that
then there's good racism. There's good racism.
No, Lena, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Affirmative action, that is good racism.
Lena, you gotta stop doing that shit. You using your female brain right now.
That's kind of a good point, though.
Hey, real quick, JVJ.
I'm saying it to be
Real quick, JVJ. Is there an issue when comedians joke about racism?
No. If you're a comedian, joke about it. Everything's funny. Everything's on
You
the
know what I'm
board,
saying?
in my opinion.
But you know what I'm saying? But like, I get it when there's like actual blatant, rough, disrespectful as racism. Then there's that sarcastic. You know, I'm cool with you. Jake can say something about Mexicans. And I don't give a shit. I'll laugh. Hopefully I can say something about black people here with chicken. All that shit. But he can say something about tacos. I don't give a
People
shit.
laugh at sexist women jokes
But you know,
too, dude. All the
but
time.
I'm not gonna mean it in a harmful, disrespectful way where I'm just gonna say like FJ, and I'm not gonna, I don't give a shit who you are because of the color of your skin.
Marcus, you already know, just like I know. Me and you both was in the Marine Corps. It really ain't what people say majority of the time. It's how they say it. How they present what they're saying. So I'm like, I can be like, man, fuck them goddamn Mexicans. All they want to do is eat all the tacos. Motherfucker know I'm joking.
Yep.
And you be like, man, these goddamn black people eating up all the chicken. They eating up all the chicken. And I know you joking. Because motherfucker, who don't like chicken and who don't like tacos? Like, we know this. We've been around people. But to their point, it's like to Lena's point. Lena, you're coming from it from an emotional argument. And I get it. But you need to tone that shit the fuck down. That cat need to be fucking corralled for a second, because sexism isn't a bad word, and I would never put sexism in the same category with racism.
But she kind of
would
made a
never
good
do
point,
that.
though. She kind of made
What
a
was
good
her
point.
point?
Like a lot of people have a problem with DEI and affirmative action, and technically that is based on racism. You're right.
Yeah, racism's bad.
But isn't
how's that compared to
lots of people are trying to say that DEI and affirmative action is racist. That's like an argument that I hear all the time.
Yeah, I do. I hear that from the right. But how does that compare to sexism?
It's like technically a positive form of racism, right?
Well,
it's only
racism
because
is
the
discrimination.
corporations and business are gonna make money off of it too, though. That's why.
Yeah, like that we are dabbling into the free market, but when it comes to correcting a wrong, you have to take from the bad to create that positive outcome. And I know that's one of the biggest conundrums that stops a lot of progress, especially in America. There's like, oh, we know that America enslaved these blacks. We know that America tried to genocide these Native Americans. But if we give these Native Americans and these blacks advantages, that would be racism against us. That's the goddamn person that stole from you, gaslighting you into believing that you should get nothing. That's what that is. Because even God said, eye for an eye. Like we got to be real about it. Motherfuckers be using arguments to try to play it back on you. Like, well, if you said it's wrong that I did it, well, after the fact that I did it to you, and that's the one part that they leave out, then it'll be wrong for you to do it to me. No, motherfucker, we gonna get that get back. And it needs to be a get back. That's the reason that America has a problem when it comes to a lot of the different races in this country. That's why America it's going to continue to crumble, because we want to address that issue. It's not racism to promote a group of people after you've done years of demoting them and promoting your own. Because you can't just say, look, man, we did 400 years of keeping y'all down, but now we're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna take all the restrictions off of y'all after we done got 400 years of building our shit up and be like, yeah, it's all fair. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Like, I guess intentions matter. Does that make sense? Intentions matter for why you're doing it?
Of course.
No, yeah.
Of course.
I do agree. I do think sexism and racism are vastly different things.
Hey, I just wanted to say too though, like, quote, when it happened to the whole Joe Rogan thing, Joe Rogan wanted to have both candidates on there because he wanted to act, and he said it himself out loud. My role and my job and the purpose of my podcast is to humanize people and have the conversation. And Kamala's team and themselves, they said they wanted to limit it to an hour or less than an hour and a half and control the questions. And certain questions weren't being allowed to be even asked to her if Joe Rogan were to even bring it up or something. And he had to fly out to her, and it's like, no, if we're going to do the podcast, we're going to do it on my podcast in my studio. We're going to have a free-flowing conversation, and it's not going to be like a debate or anything like that. Just like he had it with Trump, he was going to have it with Kamala, but Kamala and their team didn't want to have that. That's honestly why. You know what I'm saying?
From what I hear is she declined it. And what the way it was perceived to me is because she is, it was I guess perceived to her as well that he's a Trump supporter and it was going to be more like a debate. So I guess she didn't trust, or maybe they didn't feel comfortable enough that it was just going to be an open conversation. And then the fact that she had such a short period of time to run her race, I think she was more focused on endorsing her campaign and capitalizing on her policies and so forth. So,
but but you think about it, right, Miss Jackson? No, I don't want to botch your first name. I don't know how to.
It's Kanique.
Kanique, yeah.
Miss Jackson.
Kanique. Well, yeah, because every time I say Miss Jackson, I think about Outkast. My bad. I'm an Outkast fan.
Jay say that, but my name is Kanique.
All right. Well, nice to meet you, Kanique. I'm Marcus.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think if anything, if she was smart, and I'm not trying to respect her or anything, but she would took advantage of that platform and endorsed the people that was helping endorse her and push her policies, whatever they align with, and her supporters. That would have been a great opportunity, but she decided to, or her team, at least the people who are behind her and trying to talk in her ear, they probably persuaded her to not go. So if it was up to her, I believe she would have gone on the show, but I think the people in her ear told her, nah, don't go. And especially if he's not going to come over here and do an our time program, because when you do an hour, it feels more rushed. But if you have 2.5, 3 hours, you can talk about anything. You can be relaxed. Joe Rogan doesn't want to dehumanize you or attack you. He wants to first sit down and get to know you and because I've been watching Joe Rogan for like 10 plus years. I even knew Joe Rogan before when he was on news radio and doing the UFC, because I'm a big UFC fan. Me just doing MMA and going to boxing.
I knew him when he was doing Fear Factor.
Fear Factor too. So even think about that. Like, he got inspired by going on someone else's couch, doing an online podcast back in website browser, and they were just having a couple beers, having the boys right there, just chilling. And so that's what I honestly think. If she could have tried that, maybe she could have had a even better chance to actually win or tie it up or something, or run the score up. But I mean, hey, listen,
Can we all do this? Man, let's not talk about how this bitch could have won. Tough off. They're gonna move on to the next candidate, and it is what it is. If the Democrats cannot figure out how to message and actually get across to the American public, because the Democrat Party is usually the party that brings in people from every fucking group, because they unite people around a common goal. If they can't figure out how to win an election against a goddamn 32-time fucking felon, them bitches are failing. They're failing at their job. They lost to a felon. This country elected a fucking felon. And I don't care how many people feel about, well, they just came after him and all this. They come after a lot of motherfuckers on a day-to-day basis. And we don't hear nobody shedding no tears over that. They lost to probably the worst candidate this country has ever seen. That's egg on their face. The Democratic Party sucks. They might want to figure it the fuck out. Stop pushing all. And I'm saying this to be real, and I'm not saying it to hurt nobody fucking feelings. I'm just saying it to be real. If they want to win some fucking elections, get off the LGBTQ shit, get off the abortion shit, and get on shit that affects everybody, including all those people with the LGBTQ and people like that. Focus on those issues because it's gonna affect more people. Like, bitch, you need your goddamn gas to be cheap. You need your goddamn paycheck to be more. You need to not be taxed as much. You need all of these things. Stop focusing on small groups that you think is gonna win you a fucking election, and then they did that, and then they lost. This man over here lying to you. I know he lying. He ain't finna do a goddamn thing for you. But guess what? What he was talking about is what more people could relate to than what the fuck she was talking about.
Yeah, she should have focused on the economy, about how Joe Biden actually like pulled us out of a terrible position and put us in the best economy compared to the rest of the world. I don't know why she didn't try to like dispute all of Trump's claims about the worst economy in history, blah, 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 blah. We have like actually a pretty good economy right now. Just because there was global inflation doesn't mean that we didn't do a good job. Compared to the rest of the world, we are the best actually. We have very low unemployment rates.
Yeah.
She should have like combated that more instead of I agree, like focusing on niche issues. But also I think the point is like with the MAGA campaign, like Trump can do no wrong. We have people debating on fucking whether hurricanes are real or not right now. Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
It's really hard
Listen,
to combat that when you can't
Ghosty.
brainwash people in the same level.
I'm not gonna lie though. When Trump survived more than one assassination attempt and put that fist up and had 50 Cent's "Many Many Men" remix, it's kind of, come on, man.
Marcus,
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
That shit, man. He staged that first one.
No, whether it's
like,
true
whatever.
or staged or whatever, bro. The moment when you threw that fist up, when you threw that fist up, I'm just saying, man, the theatrics.
He knows that, like, they know, like, that's one thing that I will say. The Republican Party, the Conservative Party knows the American public better
They vote
than
on
the
vibes.
Democrats do.
They literally vote on vibes. They vote on vibes.
That
That's what they vote on. They don't give a fuck about policy. They don't give a fuck about solutions. All you say is immigration is bad and prices are high. I have no solution to tell you about it, but you agree with me, right? So you'll vote for me. And it's fucking stupid.
What people don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, prices are high.
Well, I was gonna say what people don't
Tariffs
know.
are gonna help that? You think a fucking 20% sweeping tariff is gonna help?
Look, here, hold that thought. I want to see what Miss Jackson had to say, and I know Bean been over there quiet for a second, so I'm gonna go to him next. Go ahead, Miss Jackson.
Well, I was just gonna say, I know what people don't know is Trump is actually a Democrat. If you can Google that, his interview with Oprah Winfrey in 1988, and he said that if he she asked him the question, he said if he ever ran for president, that he will run the Republican Party, but he actually is a Democrat.
All right, Bean, are you still there? All right, Bean ain't there. All right, we got Red up in here. I want to get Red real quick, and then I'll let it fluster again because Red gonna say something that's gonna trigger a lot of people. Red, what you got?
No, actually, I'm not here to rub anything in your face. I didn't vote for Trump because I'm.
See, he said something that was triggering. What you mean, rub it in our face?
I'm already triggering you. But anyway, I didn't vote for Trump because I wasn't a big fan of the campaign this go around.
You didn't vote at all. Just tell the truth. You ain't vote at all. You told me you weren't gonna vote, just like me. I didn't vote.
Yeah, and I didn't support the Trump campaign because I have big problems with it. Right now, the big problems are with the administration, who they're getting in there. But overall, I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be one way or the other. It's not going to be a paradise in this country overnight. And at the same time, it's not the end of the world. It's not Project 2025, right? He's not going to throw gay people off of buildings, put people back in chains. The new thing is he's going to lock people up into crystals. Have you heard this?
Hey, I do want to ask you a question because I know you got your ear to the street when it comes to shit. Tell me, am I lying? And y'all, everybody on the panel can tell me if they think this is true or not. But not even probably 2 months after he's elected, we will see him on TV saying that we have the best economy the United States has ever had. Anybody agree?
Yeah, I mean, he does that. He did that every day.
Oh, he gonna tell that lie.
The best this country has ever seen before.
I'm just saying because I'm like, I just want to.
That's how you sell it.
I want to throw it back in the diehard Trump supporters, like they'll like because pretty much y'all know the campaign how he talked. The economy sucks, everything's terrible, and I'm just like, man, let it be 2 months before he passes any policy, before anything gets enacted. And y'all know it takes years for shit to even get enacted. He's gonna come out like he did the first time when he got the economy from Obama, and he'll be like, man, the economy's great. It's never been better than ever.
Keep in mind, we have RFK. We have RFK in there now. So once he gets involved in the FDA, things will change immediately. Elon Musk and the efficiency board, things will change immediately in that regard. And if Trump isn't bluffing and he ends the Ukraine conflict, that's a whole load of money we can start saying, hey, now it's pumping back into our economy.
Wait, but you just said something. We have an anti-vaxxer head of the health department.
That's right. That's right.
An anti-vaxxer is going to be
he's not
of the U.S. Health Department.
He's vaccinated. All of his children are vaccinated except for one.
Yeah, but he advocated against it, just like Trump. Like Trump didn't believe in vaccinations. But
It's not.
Yes, he did.
It's not just
What are
the
you talking
COVID
about?
vaccine.
He
It's
came
all
out with the
vaccines.
vaccine.
No. Trump during his presidency, and see, this is the thing where we got to start being real.
He just wasn't pro-mandate.
No. He was not for the vaccine, but you give him credit.
Of course he was. When did Trump say he wasn't for the vaccine?
Multiple times. He said it's like the flu. It is past week. This motherfucker did everything to tell people to inject bleach into their body.
No. But after Operation
He was
Warp
talking about the
Speed,
bleach shit.
he was totally pro-vaccine.
Look, okay, here you go. He was for it eventually. After he told people to do all these other things and not take the vaccine.
Yeah, and the bleach and the horse paste, all that was debunked.
Look, he would tell them to take that horse steroid and shit. Aaron Rodgers took it. He was on fucking goddamn McAfee bragging about it. Yeah, I'm on that ivermectin.
Yeah, it's called ivermectin. You can get it over the counter. It's antiviral.
I had someone come on my stream and tell me that they pee into a cup and they pour the urine over their body every time they take a shower. It's called like urine therapy.
Cool.
And they believe in this shit.
Okay, you're just associating that with some wacko.
Hey,
look, he believes in the bleach shit. He believes in all the same fucking crazy QAnon.
Can we stop? Can we grow up?
No, he did. Look, we're just trying to he's just putting out the point that Trump has these crazies out here believing shit like that.
No, read his book. Read RFK Jr.'s book. He's actually sued all of these multiple pharmaceutical companies, and he's won.
Look, I'm not talking about RFK. I'm just talking about the gravitas of Trump, having people believe shit like that, because we had people out here literally contemplating. Like, remember when that shit popped off, they had people calling the CDC and asking them, can they inject their body with bleach? Like, that literally happened. Like, we can't have revisionist history. So I'm saying Trump has a lot of pull when it comes to shit like that. But to her point, I think what Jane was getting at is, we have somebody that is reckless that's going to be over a department that's going to affect a lot of Americans. I think that was her point.
We'll see.
I just wanted to mention this real quick, Red. No, I just want to say that I think the reason why Trump won, and also the fact that Kamala blew it, is clearly her resume, especially with the Innocence Project and the lawyers that came out, like the Joe Rogan podcast, and talked about how she was blockading innocent, falsely imprisoned, falsely convicted people, especially ones who were on death row, and knowing that she was the one blockading that evidence, very substantial evidence, to free these men that she had locked up while being a corrupt, district attorney and act general. And that, and the fact of, you guys remember that rally where they said Jesus is Lord, and then she said, "Oh, I think you're at the wrong rally." That made her lose votes and made her lose certain people, and then gain votes for Trump. Things
that's
like
the
that.
Popular vote.
You know what I'm saying? Plus the electoral vote, the popular vote, all those, clearly adding up, and then boom, like it was gonna happen because it was a formula for disaster that Kamala, and her team, and I don't know why hey, they probably talked to her at the end when she said, well, why, what would you think of saying that? You shouldn't have said it like that. And when she tried to correct it, it was already too late. Damage control.
She responded
they were
to
not
that person
prepared.
because he was a Trump supporter. That's why she made the statement. I think you need to be at the wrong rally because
No, it wasn't a Trump supporter. They were saying Jesus is king, and in Dearborn they were saying
they were
Democrats
protesting
actually
against
hold their
abortion.
candidates accountable for what they say.
They was protesting against her
all right.
policy abortion.
But to your point, Marcus, that probably swayed the popular vote. I think one of the election was the Pennsylvania Amish and the Catholic vote in the other swing states, because they showed out in record numbers. And
I will say this.
and the Catholics, we really saw a big turnout with Latino voters.
Well, here you go. Look, I will say this. Look, black men better not get the goddamn blame for why she lost. That's all I need to know. Like,
it's really
I'm already seeing it.
Well, they already have, bro. They've been making videos about they've been calling black people, Latino people, men and women. They've been calling them all like some level of traitors, and I'm like, wait a minute. And listen, this is just my belief, right? And this is not just me just being a veteran and all that kind of shit. Just being an American citizen and paying taxes. I'm gonna say it how somebody else said it before me. You vote whoever the fuck you want to vote for. If they align and help your policies and what you believe, then fine, go for it. Tough titty. If I'm gonna vote who I want to vote for, I'm voting for them because I see certain policies that are gonna benefit us as people, myself, my family, and whoever on so forth. But that's just how I believe, man. If you want to go and vote for RFK or Kamala, even Bernie Sanders, whatever it was, because at one point I was going to vote for Bernie. At one point I wanted to vote for RFK just because I knew it wasn't Kamala or Trump,
Well, did you see Bernie Sanders? He made a great statement that I actually agreed with. He said the reason the Dems lost is because they abandoned the average working class.
That is true. I can agree with that. One thing I want to point out, and this is my little shot at the people on the right, because I know I got some people on the right that watch from time to time. When Trump was running and he was going against Hillary Clinton, and then also when Trump was running, he ran against Joe Biden. One of the biggest talking points that I got from the right, and I tell y'all, the right is very good at messaging. They talked about age. They talked about age of a president. Well, do y'all know when Trump is inaugurated, he will be the oldest president ever inaugurated to be the president of the United States?
Yep.
But he's representing the party that said they didn't want nobody that was old.
Well, that was also the same party that elected Ronald Reagan, who was the second oldest.
But guess what, though? I'm just saying, though, they was basing it off of Ronald Reagan and saying that disqualifies somebody, but now they elected somebody that's older than Ronald Reagan.
Well, Ronald Reagan was obviously more qualified than the other candidate at the time.
Well, Ronald Reagan was also popularly known because he was an actor, right?
Yeah, he had the California vote, he had the Dem vote, but it's really the age thing. That's a non.
He was a nice.
It's more about competence, and age does relate to competence. Like Joe Biden, we could obviously see deterioration at the beginning of the presidency.
You can't see that shit with Trump right now. But either way, I'm not trying to go into that rabbit hole.
JVJ, but, you know that Biden's worst enemy is stairs, bro.
Nah, his worst enemy is what happened yesterday. My bad. What happened 5 minutes ago?
No, I think he voted for Trump.
Look, what I'm gonna say is, and this is a good thing that I think America could look at, because I try to look at this situation as one good thing or one good thing. Glass half full on either side. My side for Kamala winning was because I wanted to see the Trump supporters lose their fucking mind and do something crazy. Because they keep talking about they want a civil war. So I'm like, man, let's get this shit popped off. I got guns in my house and I got dogs. So I'm like, let's get it popping. But on the other side, when it comes to Trump, it's like, we can do these 4 years. This country's not going to go to shit all together in these 4 years because of him. Now, he going to do some crazy shit. I can tell you that right now. I ain't going to lie. But we can do that and get past it. Because he can't run again unless he do crazy shit.
There's also a degree of accountability with Trump that we wouldn't have had with Kamala. And what I mean by this is that it's two hands playing against each other. They're all in the same boat. But I feel like the powers that be, and when I say that, the military-industrial complex, Liz and Dick Cheney, Goldman Sachs, all the people that wanted Kamala, they wanted the quote unquote woman of color face in the White House. Because like you saw with Obama, when you have a brown face in the White House, you can bomb a lot more people and get away with it.
Well, here you go. With Obama, like, let's be real though. Obama's probably the last real legit president that we done had.
You mean the war criminal?
What would you consider George Bush?
A war criminal too.
Exactly. And guess what? Most
And Bill
American
Clinton.
presidents, most American
Dude, we're
George-
fucking
man,
America.
Donald
We
Donald
are the
Trump
war
was a war
criminals.
criminal, man. Joe Biden was a war criminal. Like everybody act like these motherfuckers. Like you hear about
Bill
what they
Clinton.
That's
did
my
after
point.
they-
That was
you hear-
exactly my point. I don't think you
Exactly.
understood my point. I'm saying because it's Donald Trump and the media hates him, there's going to be a
No.
higher degree of accountability.
No. The higher degree of accountability flowed on Obama. That's why I say Obama was the last one. Like, for real, do you think America, like, I literally still to this day hear some of my white brethren and sisters say Obama stoked the flames of racism by becoming president.
I mean, black people said, Patrice O'Neill said that.
I will say this too, JVJ. The issue I had with Biden and Kamala was the fact when they were giving aid bill money to different countries, foreign countries, when we could have took care of our fellow Americans here
Put
first.
that on Biden though, man. Like, for real, no bullshit. And that's the funny thing. That's why I tell y'all. And Jane,
The
I'm
same thing with the border, though. I will say the
Look,
bullshit with the border too.
I'm gonna say it, and Jane, I'm coming to you next. That's why I say Republicans are very good at messaging, because when Biden first got elected, they talked about Kamala like she was a dog and said she didn't do nothing. And then when that bitch became the nominee, this bitch doing everything. So I'll just be like, Republicans are really good at messaging. But Jane, you got it.
When we talk about aid, the majority of the aid that's being sent is like old military weapons and shit. Now I understand like we can spend like less money and stuff on this shit, but I also don't think being an isolationist country is a good thing. It is good to supply like our allies with our old military equipment and whatever. That's what most of the aid is. It's not just money.
Jane, but multi-billion dollars
It's
though, and the
over
fact that we have
80%
our
of it.
issues, we ourselves though. Before we can help, before we can go fix someone else's house, we have to fix our own house first.
Well, it's not even that. The point is, if we weren't funding these countries, if we weren't giving these billions of dollars to all these countries and weapons, they wouldn't have these conflicts in the first place.
Yeah, you wouldn't start a fight if you knew them motherfuckers had guns over there and all you had
Exactly.
was your
If you know you got a blank check from the U.S., you're going to be a lot more ballsy in your region.
Facts.
Well, that's America has always been.
No, go ahead, Jackson. Go ahead.
I was just saying, America has always been. That's the hypocrisy that she never takes care of her own. It's always about others.
And see, this is where with that statement and what all of y'all said, this is what I want Americans to be about. That's why I covered the video about the cops, the policing in our own country, and how it's a blind eye's turn to the violation of the citizens that fund this bitch. Our country spends money, trillions. I don't even know what number come after trillion, but I know the motherfuckers spending that shit on
Quadrillions.
fucking with people all around the world. And look, I tell any of these motherfuckers that think we talking crazy, I tell them take their ass to a good old Southern Black Baptist church, and you don't hear that good old gospel hymn of sweep around your own motherfucking door before you try to sweep around mine. Because that's what we need to do. We got Americans that literally are on the edge. That's why a lot of motherfuckers stormed the Capitol on January 6th. I ain't gonna say, like, I understand Trump hyped them up for it, but a lot of people are angry. And the funniest thing is, when this country is about to fall and when this country is on the edge, is when white folks start losing their motherfucking mind.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because the biggest metric, if you look historically for a civil war popping off, is when the average age of marriage passes 28. Every time that happened in history, there's a major civil war, conflict, plague, etc.
So I guess I'm telling you this, Red. I don't know nothing about that shit. All I know is I know how white people move because I've been around them my whole life. And when I've seen that the Asians went through things, internment camps or whatever, the Native Americans went through things. genocide, getting they little land, and then the motherfuckers taking that shit. And now they own all the casinos almost. When the fucking the Indians went through their shit. When the Irish came over here, even though they still white, they still white. I don't know why
they got pretty mad too.
Yeah, I'm saying like they acting like they ain't white. That's white on white violence. But when the blacks went through their shit, now you see white folks in America losing their motherfucking shit. That's when you know your country is about to fall, because everything that done happened in this country is white folk fault. And I'll be honest with you, I just say it's white man fault. Like, because I know the white women don't want to take no accountability for this shit, even though they're right behind them, cheering them on. Look, it is all white man fault. When these motherfuckers lost their mind with what they built and what they created, that's when you knew you had a fucking problem.
Yeah, maybe you should take notes.
Now look, if this shit, look, we already told
Damn.
we ain't dealing with them. Look, we got them passports, nigga. Ain't nobody playing around with that shit. But look, when you see this shit, we know that we are at a point now, and this is the cherry on top of the cake. You put a motherfucking felon in the office. You put a motherfucking felon. We had people suck up their so-called morals, their so-called values. You got Christian people vote for this motherfucker, and this motherfucker has been married 7, 8 times. Like,
He
let's be
cheated
real.
on his pregnant wife with a fucking stripper.
Covered it up with champagne.
That's how you know how bad the other candidate was.
Yeah, look, that lets you know
That's
how fucked up
brainwashed
America is.
people are.
I want to bring this up because I think it was Colbert, Stephen Colbert. He said this on his show, and we all know the nighttime shows are completely paid off. But he said, "Well, now we know the majority of this country isn't for democracy," and I found that really interesting because
he needs to shut the fuck up.
If most of the people in a country, hypothetically speaking, don't want democracy, then what is democratic?
See, he need to stop speaking like he's speaking for the masses. Majority, I would say, overwhelmingly majority of Americans want democracy. The problem is, most Americans want the distribution of information to be controlled. They don't want the democracy in the sense
I don't think they
voting.
want that either. I don't think most people understand what democracy even is. If they did, they'd understand how contradictory it is.
Yeah, the reason a lot of people think democracy is what the fuck they hear from news networks. They want to control the flow of information. That's what they want to control. That's where that
the
whole
news networks,
PC, that PC culture shit.
Like when they say we must protect our democracy. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Democracy and politics means the exact same thing. But when we say democracy, it's good. But when we say politics, it's bad.
Full of stupid, man. Let's just be real. A lot of Americans are stupid. And all of us on this panel right now are stupid in some sense of the word when it comes to the grand scheme of how this country should be ran. We're all dumb in one aspect of it. But the problem is we got so many dummies putting people in place of power. And these people in place of power understand that the people that put them there are dumb. So they do whatever the fuck they want. And they've been doing it for years. That's why when they run on a campaign and say they're going to do things, and I'm telling everybody, I got a list. I got a list for Trump. He said he's going to do some things. I'm mainly only focusing on 3 things. I want to see this motherfucker do it. I don't give a fuck about that on day one. I'm deporting all these motherfuckers. He ain't gonna do that shit. I know he ain't gonna do that. But I want to hear about that overtime pay not being taxed. I want to hear about that Social Security not being taxed. If he get, matter of fact, I'm just gonna stick on them 2. I'm just roll with those 2. If he can get that shit done, I'm cool with it. Oh, tips. Yeah, that was the 3rd one. Tips. I don't work for tips. But
if he doesn't get that shit done, I will say F Trump, because I was like, you can't be doing that shit. And like, if people put their hard-earned money and then like the taxes, voting, like,
and a lot of people voted for him, and a lot of people on the right weren't fucking with Trump this time around because we didn't hear the same things that we heard and we saw what happened in 2016. And now he's saying a lot of different things. He wants more legal migration than we had. Like, slow down, dude. He said a lot of things to get in the office.
Look,
but the point is,
part out loud.
Well, the point is, he says whatever he wants to get elected. But the point is, the right is pretty fractured right now, and the left isn't that fractured. So if Kamala won, they would have supported her no matter what. She could do no wrong. You have a lot of people on the right
That's not true.
very
That's not true
dissatisfied.
at all.
No.
Very dissatisfied.
Jane. He ain't lying. Like, there's a lot of people on the right that don't like that
I talk
motherfucker.
to a lot of left people, and there are a lot of fractured left people who were not cool with a lot of.
But Jane, if you were to balance out the people that on the left and on the right, that where they say, hey, the one person does wrong, they'll definitely hold their feet to the fire, and if the person would have won opposite, would not be the same exact. They make excuses for one side and the other.
I mean, I know a lot of right-wing people who didn't vote for Trump because he didn't want 2025, because he disavowed it.
I'm gonna say this to Jane point, and then I'm gonna go around to everybody to get final thoughts and let y'all just look. I'm gonna give y'all time. I'm not gonna cut y'all off and don't nobody interrupt anybody. But to Jane's point, you can really look at it one way or another. And this is the way I look at it. The right is the men's party. You look at the left, that's the women's party, and everybody else that want to be on some other shit. There are more people, you notice when you deal with women, I bet money you would rather deal with men than deal with women. And if you on a day-to-day schedule, to get shit done, you would probably rather deal with men because men will argue and there could be fractures here and there about what the men are doing. But when you get with a lot of women, oh man, everybody got their own little group. And they will partition people to their group and shame them or gaslight them to be in their group or be the fuck out of their group. But I'm actually going to go to, matter of fact, let me see. I'm going to start with Bean because he ain't been here for a while. I ain't heard him. Bean, are you still there? Bean.
He's muted.
Yeah, Bean ain't here. Oh, there he go. I had to kick him out. He ain't here. That motherfucker doing something else. All right, so we got 2 guys. We got 2 ladies. All right, we gon' Jane, pick a number 1 through 5.
6. I'm just kidding. 3.
All right, Marcus, pick a number 1 through 5.
8.
1 through 5. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Well, because she said 6, but I thought we were doing 8. But I get why she said 6 now. 3.
That's what
All
I
right,
said.
ladies go first. All right, boom. Here we go. We gonna start with
We
Miss
both
Jack.
picked 3.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving it to the ladies now. So ladies are going first. But guess what, Miss Ghosty?
Man,
I'm
you should have
switching
said
up.
4.
Look, we going to
I was
Miss
gonna
Jackson
say 1.
first.
Fuck that.
Y'all motherfuckers suck at guessing numbers. I swear y'all do. I told my sister, hey, never mind. I'm not gonna tell y'all about that. Either way, we going to Miss Jackson first. Get her final thoughts on the night. Everything you want to get off your chest. You want to talk about the election. The cop videos are kind of like past conversation, whatever the fuck. But go ahead, give me your final thoughts for the night.
All right, final thoughts for the night. To touch on the subject of the cop video, it just goes to show that America has a long way to go, and police brutality is real. We have a lot of people that are victims. I myself have experienced that, and I'm also an activist for it as well, that, of getting change and something done in our country pertaining to that, Now, as far as, when it comes to the election, hey, America showed herself. Kamala didn't make it because of her gender. If Kamala was a man, she would have made it. Let's just look at the logics. Hillary Clinton ran against him first. She lost. Joe Biden ran against Trump second. He won. And now Kamala Harris ran against him third. She lost. So the 2 candidates that lost were women. It took a white man to defeat him. So I say that, hey, it speaks for itself. The reason she was not. Now, her policies wasn't all that on point or so forth. And yes, it could have been better. But knowing the danger and the character of Donald Trump, basically nobody wanted Biden, but he was chosen just to prevent Trump from getting back in office. So it's evident, it's clear she lost due to her gender. But at the end of the day, Project 2025, is put out there through the federal government. And, we'll see how real it is. And, in January, we'll see. Is Trump going to own up to his words and his quote unquote policies that he made? And also, this Project 2025, we'll see how it plays out. So that's my final thoughts for today. And I think it goes to show reality is in our world, everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is discrimination. People judge you everywhere you go based off, your race, your gender, your color, your status in life, your social skills, your age, and so forth. That's just life, the world we live in. And, we've accomplished a lot, but we still got a long way to go. And so
You're goddamn right.
So
I just want to throw that in there.
yes, sir. And so I am an activist for the independent party. At the end of the day, the whole democracy needs to be destroyed, and it is about the independent party. I am Kenique Jackson. I am glad to be a guest on your show, and I am working. It's in the making of coming up with my network where you all can find me.
All right, now y'all heard that here first. All right, next we are going to Marcus. I ain't seen Marcus in forever. Like I don't know where Marcus been at. He could have been around for the sports show, coming in not first place or second place. But Marcus, we got Marcus here. Final thoughts, sir.
Yo, man, thank you for having me. I know I haven't been here in a while, but it's not because I don't, support you. Just
he don't like me no more, y'all.
No, it's not even that, bro. I can stand you. I can put up with you. But I just been having some stuff come up. I'm probably gonna be having surgery soon in my foot. I wanted to say, yeah, hey man, it's part of the job, especially when you're out there in the field and stuff. So,
true.
I was gonna say that rest in peace to Brother Clarence. I know he passed away. I don't know if anybody knows him.
Talking about Clarence Thomas?
No, Brother Clarence from Let's Talk Better Black Life. I don't know if you've been on that channel over there.
I was hoping you said Clarence Thomas. God damn.
What?
But keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So I just wanted to take the time to give the man flowers because he was always a good man, respectful host. Regardless if you disagree with him or not, he was one of those like OG people who actually sat down and talked with you, wanted to have a conversation. And whether y'all met in eye or met at odds, whatever, doesn't matter. He was one of those real rare individual men. Good man, good father, good husband. Yeah, man. Other than that, bro, shout out to you. Go Ravens. And then also, shout out to your Chiefs, man, because they're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, undefeated. Yeah, hey, nice to meet you, Kenique. Nice to meet you. Regardless if we disagree or not, I still know how to show respect and show some class and not have to disrespect each other. And even if you vote for whoever, I could still, at the end of the day, sit down with the person and talk with them, because that's all it is a conversation. And meeting people from different cultures or classes, and it doesn't matter. Ghosty, aka Jane Gypsy. We had definitely have our disagreements. Red, good to see you, man. Just support the channel. I know that I'll be swinging around here more too. And JVJ, I know you have your sports stuff too. So I know the game is close right now. And also go Warriors and go Dodgers, because the Dodgers brought the World Series, baby. Shout out to Babe Ruth. Shout out to Fernando Valenzuela. Shout out to
fucking Oscars.
Hey man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, like all the team, Babe Ruth, Fernando Venezuela, all the greats that came before in the Dodgers history, even Manny Ramirez and all those guys. You know what I'm talking about. Camp, all those guys, all that, man, all that in a bag of chips. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you subscribe to all these guys, all these men and women.
All right. Let Jay say, is this the Oscars? All right, fuck it. We're going to Red next. Like, I'm switching it up now. We're going to Red. Red, final thoughts.
So, regarding the whole election thing, I was pretty stoked and excited to see all the tears, all the leftists losing their minds. But I woke up that morning and I kind of just felt bad. A lot of really misguided, in my opinion, medicated, trauma-bound people But I feel like a lot of the left actually subliminally wanted Trump to win. Obviously, the media wanted him to win because he gives them all the good headlines. But there is an aspect of, being a perpetual victim. And now that the Republicans have the House and the Senate too, you can be a victim all you want for the next 4 years, complete void of any accountability on your side. But it will be interesting to see how it goes from here. Fortunately, the division, it seems like the raging and all that, it's dying down from here. So, daddy's home, nature is healing. We'll see how it goes from here. But thanks for having me. I'm Red Illusion. You can find me on Instagram at Red Z Illusion. I'm selling some of my artwork. Check me out.
All right.
Don't let the liberal media tell you how to think and feel. If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Okay. All right, now we go into Miss Jane Gypsy. I didn't do that just because he was after you. I just forgot I had that clip, and I've been wanting to play that. All right, Miss Jane Gypsy, final thoughts.
Okay. My final thoughts is.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk about Jane not coming around in a while. I did a Friday night show and she didn't show up. But either way though, keep going.
I know.
No, she's getting E-celeb status now.
Oh.
No,
big time.
No, none of that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, shout out to Jackie Robinson, man, another loyal Dodger.
Jesus Christ. This is the Oscars. Keep going.
Hey man, I just gotta say, man, I just can't say the titles, maybe titles.
So I think the real reason we lost is because of Joe Biden. I think it's Joe Biden's fault for pretending like, we tried to keep the status quo. He was the incumbent president. They always have to run again, but I think he should have just admitted from the beginning that he wasn't up to run, and I think we would have had a better chance instead of just throwing Kamala in there last minute. I do want to make a comment about the division, because I see a divide, and not only between Democrats and Republicans, but also within the parties. Oh shit! I do see the divide between within the right. She walked away a little bit ago,
Bitch.
but I see I don't know if it's division in the left, but we definitely were not all in cahoots with Kamala. We had a lot of issues with her too, and I think we are more willing to say that. I think we are the more self-critical party, and I think it damaged us, but I also don't blame us for being honest with our faults and where I don't think I could name one Democrat who voted for Kamala who was yeah, I support all of her policies across the board. I just did not see that once. But I think going down over the next 4 years, kind of like what Jay said, the Democrats are going to have to come up with 2 issues that affect all Americans, not just these niche issues, and focus on that, even if we have to exaggerate just a little bit because Americans are fucking retarded. That's probably what we're gonna have to do to win, and hopefully Trump doesn't fuck this up too bad with his tariffs and shit, but we'll see. But yeah, it was good talking with all of you all. I like disagreeing with people of all different races, religions, whatever, opinions and shit. So thanks for having me.
I'm gonna clip that last part, JVJ, and just so I can do my own smear campaign on Gypsy one of these days, I swear.
What did I say? Did I say something fucked up?
Maybe.
He said maybe.
I was trying to back up what you said. I like talking to a bunch of different people.
Well, I'm sorry, you didn't sound like an Oscar fucking nomination speech like you did. I wasn't sound like an Oscar fucking.
Yeah, shout out Susan B. Anthony.
shout out Amelia Earhart.
Hey, look, no bullshit though. I was hoping you wasn't talking about what I call a cat a bitch. But either way though, that's neither here nor there. Look, man, this actually wasn't meant to be about the politics, but we needed to have a conversation about it because there were a lot.
Oh
of
yeah,
things
fuck the police too.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get to. Fucking no bullshit. It wasn't supposed to be about the politics. It was supposed to be about the cop shit, but all of this stuff is gonna be entwined and it's gonna be exaggerated in a grand scheme because a lot of things might actually come from just thought to actual reality. coming up with this next election. And I hope everybody's locked in and ready to rock and roll, like because it's going to be what it's going to be. Optimism will be high, but reality might be low. I don't know how it's going to go. But when it comes to this police issue that we have in society, it don't matter whether it's Democrat or whether it's a Republican in office. I don't care what your state legislation or your city legislation is. This issue persists. And I want to consistently keep trying to inform Americans about the situations that their fellow Americans experience on a day-to-day basis. And maybe one day, all of us will give a fuck and actually call this shit out. And if we can build off of that, we can build off to, actually getting legit candidates for president. Maybe they stop putting two pieces of shit in front of our face and saying which one you like better. Because that's pretty much all we're dealing with for the last couple of years. You had a man with Alzheimer's. You had a woman that Hillary Clinton was doing the C-walk for a little bit. And Donald Trump's just a piece of shit all the way around. Like, I don't care what nobody say, and I tell them all day, I don't like that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what they say, and ain't nothing you can say to me to make me feel good about this motherfucker. But hopefully he'll do the things that I want him to do, because he claimed he was going to do. So we're going to see. Second time around, maybe he'll keep his promise. But it's been fun. It's been great. We will be right back here again tomorrow on Let's Talk and on the JVJ Network. And we're going to be trying to rock out. Hopefully it's ops night. Y'all know, out for the Norm 18, don't take no shit. Jane, you need to make sure you show up for that. And Miss Jackson, because, I just want to see y'all interaction. This should be funny. But I need y'all to hit that like. I need y'all to hit that subscribe. And we gonna be right here back doing the same thing. We're gonna get the fuck up out of here. As always, man, I appreciate y'all. And I don't know what else the fuck to say to y'all. Man, we got to get the fuck up out of here. So I can talk.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.